All right, we are live. Let me just go live on IG.
Okay. I always forget you can just type in Instagram and go live on there too.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, we are live on IG. What's up, IG?
What's up? Hi, everyone.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Kava podcast After Dark session, live out of San Francisco on this beautiful Saturday night. As you guys can see, we have a full panel of beautiful ladies joining us tonight where we discuss and talk about dating and relationships. As always, I always appreciate you guys tuning in from my live shows every single weekend. As always, you guys already know what to do. If you love the content, you see value in the content, the best way to support me is to smash that like, subscribe button real quick. As always, I see you guys are already on the live chat. My bad a little bit. I know we started a little bit later. I take full accountability on that, but I see you bored on the live chat bunches. Hey, BL17, always good to see you. And Lord Punisher. So I appreciate you guys on the live chat. Let's get that live chat popping. I see you guys, Gas Mask. I see you already on the live chat. Let's get active on the live chat. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget, this is a public show. So if you guys do want to jump on, a lot of you guys ask me on IG, how do I jump on the podcast and talk to the ladies? But I'm not from the Bay Area. I'm not from California. There is a way to do that. You have to become a supporting member of my locals. The link is in the description. All right. You'll be able to click on that link and you'll be able to jump on and like a Zoom call and talk directly to the ladies. But the link is in the description. Become a supporting member and you'll be able to get the public link to join. And you can join the last hour of the pod and jump on as a virtual guest and have a conversation with the ladies. But appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for tuning in. As always, you guys already know. Don't forget, if you want your voice and opinions to be heard, and a lot of you guys have strong opinions about the things that we're going to talk tonight and the topic, and also your reaction to a lot of things that we're going to say tonight. If you want to share that and be part of the conversation, the best way to do that, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to put it on the screen, read it out for you guys, and I'll be able to allow the panel to respond to you guys as well. So I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, it's a live show. So let's get the live chat popping. Don't be a ninja watcher. Don't be a creep. Say hello. It's a live stream. So participate, have some fun. I know a lot of you guys may be tuning in from Instagram. All right. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're watching from Instagram, come over to YouTube. So you got to get the full experience and you'll be able to participate and be on the live chat. And you'll be able to jump on as a virtual guest. If you do want to talk to the ladies, the link is in the description. But nevertheless, that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys already. We have a great topic to discuss. And shout out to the fellas. Shout out to the women on the whole support me on the channel. Thank you so much. And shout out to the ladies real quick.
Hey, everyone.
All right. All right. Shout out to the ladies. Thank you for making the time and be able to participate, be part of the Kava podcast. We have a good topic to discuss tonight. And of course, if you want to support the ladies, definitely support the ladies on their IGs. I'll definitely make sure we get that information for you guys as well. But I think that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much. But before we go into the pod, can you ladies, if you guys don't mind, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there. And then we'll go right into get some Kava going, and then we'll go right into the topic. And I'll start with you. Go ahead, Tiara.
Hey, y'all. So my name is Tiara. Which way should I look? That way? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I am African American, otherwise known as Black. I am 28. What else? I am a doula, a mother. That's a job in its own.
Yes.
And people don't really like to understand that. But that's okay. That's a whole nother subject. And my status is I have a partner. And what I look for is marriage, but ultimately I also look for honesty, loyalty, and all the things that come with building that foundation first.
All right. Thank you so much, Tiara.
No problem.
All right.
Hi. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Hi, my name is Anissa. I'm African American. I'm 24. I'm a mother. I'm in school right now. It's complicated, my relationship status, and I'm not looking for anything. Nothing.
Good for you.
Okay.
So my name is Carmen. I'm Latina. I'm like Honduran Peruvian mix.
Nice.
I am actually probably the oldest one here. I'm 41.
You don't
So
look
young.
You don't look
So my job is I'm actually in the health and wellness. So I do personal training. I teach dance. I teach coaching, accountability coaching. My status is I'm single and ready to mingle.
Nice.
And what I'm looking for, I think I definitely want to get married. I think because I am older, I have like a traditional, old school mentality.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to find that now. But, I can hope.
It'll come. It will come.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is TC. I'm Latina. I'm 19. I'm a licensed esthetician, and I also work in finance. I'm currently single, not looking, but what I do like in somebody is really just someone that you can depend on and trust, and that you don't have to worry about, should I really trust what's going on over there? Really like the statement, like, don't need nobody, but it's always good to have somebody. So that's where I stand.
All right, thank you. Keep it moving.
Okay, my name's Casey and I am Mexican. I am 29 years old and I'm a photographer and a licensed esthetician as well. My status is single and what I look for is trust and respect.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shanice, but I go by Shay. I'm 24. I'm Black and Creole. I just say just Black, African American. And for my job, well, I do a lot of things. So I do a lot of source of income. So hosting, I do projects with my film friends and everything. I also do modeling, so that also pays some gigs, and I do security. And so, yeah, and for my status, I'm sorry. For my status, I am single, but I'm looking for marriage as well as like a family. And I'm a big family person and I'm a lover girl. So, I have a heart of gold. So I got to share my love.
All right. Shout out to the ladies one more time. All right, ladies, thank you so much for the great introductions. As always, appreciate you guys watching, tuning in. Let's get those likes up. Let's get active on the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. We have a great topic to discuss tonight. And as always, always appreciate you guys tuning in from my live shows. And if you're watching this from IG, definitely come over to YouTube. If you're watching from Twitch, Facebook, and X, definitely come over to YouTube so you get the full experience. All right. But nevertheless, we'll go right into it. And of course, as always, I know a lot of you guys are reaching my content. As always, to all the fellas out there, you guys already know the 3 tenets of masculinity. You guys already know my type of content. If you're watching this for the first time, if you're looking for content to complain and whine about the opposite sex, whether it's men or women, this is not the conversation and the content for you. So as always, you guys already know the purpose of my content is to bring men and women together and take accountability for our lives and our decisions when it comes to dating and relationships, and be able to find a solution. All right, so I know we're gonna have different opinions about these things, but I know there's a lot of complainers out, a lot of guys complaining, whining about women. Those are the guys I definitely I want to reach out to. So I always appreciate you guys. As always, all the guys always follow my channel: accountability, resiliency, discipline, the 3 tenets that we always talk about masculinity. So I see Pixie on the live chat. Hey, shout out to you, Pixie. Good to see you on the live chat first time. So if you're watching this for the first time, don't forget to like and subscribe. But before we start the conversation, ladies, we got to get some Kava flowing
Yes.
in our bodies. So yeah, let's do it. All right. And of course, to all the Kava drinkers out there, shout out to you guys. Okay, drinking Kava tonight. And don't forget to go home to your wives, man. Don't drink too much. A lot of you guys drink all the way to the morning. So go home to your wives, spend some quality wives.
How relaxed. Right, exactly. You drive home, right? No, seriously.
All right. Yeah,
Well,
I'll smell it.
All right. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. And the last one. All right, now we get mine. So traditionally, in my culture, is right before we drink, we always raise our cups and then we just offer some words of endearment towards each other. All right. So, and then once everybody has gone, some words of endearment, then we go ahead and drink it. So my words of endearment is always to strong families, strong partners, strong husbands, strong wives, and to all the men out there to be strong leaders and take care of their families. So I must say that. That's my words of endearment. I pass it to Tiara.
Ashe. I guess putting it towards, beauty, because you're beautiful people here, beautiful inside and out, honesty, love, and compassion towards each other.
Okay.
I wish you guys all financial success in any endeavor and love and happiness.
Dinero, salud, y amor. And so it's money, health, and love.
Definitely just true peace within yourselves and your loved ones.
Okay.
I would say cheers to walking onto your path. May it lead you to love, success, and just peace.
Okay.
Also, I could say love, joy, happiness, and knowledge, gain knowledge throughout this life journey.
Okay. And then just say ofa
Opa.
atu.
Atu.
Ofa atu, y'all. All right. Go ahead, drink. Thank you.
That's very different.
Exactly like you.
Are you supposed to drink the whole thing?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
I drink the whole thing, but you don't have to.
Okay.
And what it tastes like?
Exactly what you
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah.
Remind me of
Earthy,
black cocoa.
earthy.
Fruit mud. Yeah. Watery mud.
Yeah. that's what it is. That is exactly what it is.
It reminded me of black cohosh when I had to take it when I was pregnant. That was very interesting.
All right. Okay. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Okay, appreciate you guys as always. But we'll go right into it, and then shout out to all the Kava drinkers out there. Thank you so much. But yeah, we're gonna have to read the topic we're going to discuss tonight is do modern women respect the standards of good masculine men? So I saw this clip went viral on TikTok, so I'm gonna play it real quick for you guys.
Okay.
We get to react to it, and then I'll bring it to you guys, and everybody get to share what they think about the topic. All right. So somebody play this video real quick. And of course, as I play this clip, let me know on the live chat as you reacted to it as well. Let me know what you guys think. All right.
How about a guy just has some standards for himself and he's saying to himself, if I'm going to date you and we're going to be exclusive and I'm going to prioritize you in multiple ways, I have expectations of you. Which means that you're not going to go out, get sloppy drunk with your friends, be around a bunch of guys that are going to be like, the whole time, and maybe behave badly because people make not so great decisions when they drink. And why are you putting yourself in that situation? I don't want to give my exclusivity to someone who's going to voluntarily put themselves in those situations. And by the way, if you have me and you're so happy with me, why do you need to do all of that? Perfectly reasonable for a man to come to the table and say those things. Guys are afraid to say them oftentimes because they're afraid of losing a woman. Don't be afraid, men, to lose a woman who behaves badly. It will be an enormous favor to you if you lose someone that disrespects you consistently. Don't be afraid of the loss.
All right, so this is the clip I saw that went online, and in the comment section, everybody was going back and forth between the men and women. So the topic tonight: do modern women respect the standards of good masculine men? You know, if you talk to most women would say, do you want a good masculine man? All right, so it's 2024. So I'm sure you guys see online, as you guys see with the dating market today, there's so many different things that's going on now for both men and women. But I do hear a lot of women saying they want a good, strong, masculine man, leader, provider, protector, you know, somebody that wants to take care, be a good father, a good husband. But when they have conversations with those men and those men have high standards, they put that standard on them. A lot of times, what I hear personally, not only for myself, but also online, a lot of women would say, modern women would say, that's controlling. That man is trying to control my life. Look, we're living in the age of the independent women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys heard that mentality. I'm independent. I can live my own life. I can do my own thing. I don't need a man. I don't know if you guys heard that multiple times. I've heard it a lot. So, but that's always a conversation. You know, and look, if you need a man, if you want a good, strong man, you want a man that's be a good provider, protector, and a father and a husband, just understand that that man comes with certain standards that he has built for himself, especially what he's looking for his wife. All right. So is it controlling if you meet that type of man? If you meet that type of man with good morals and values, is it controlling? Or maybe Is it just that's what good men do? That's what good fathers do, good husbands do. So I'll be interested to hear what you guys think about this. Do a lot of girls today, do they respect the standards of good masculine men, or maybe it's not about respect? Those standards are toxic, or those standards are controlling. I don't know. I have my opinion about it. I want to hear what you guys have to think. And that was actually a good clip online. But I have a lot of things that we're going to talk about this topic, but that's the main conversation topic we want to discuss tonight. All right, so I'll start with you, Shay, and then we'll go around the panel. Shay, what's your opening thoughts, your opening opinions? Do modern women today, do they respect the standards of a good masculine man?
Well, I feel like more modern day women are leaning towards kind of in their masculinity because of the men in nowadays society. Is just like they're getting more to a feel like they're more in their feminine era more than their masculine era. So it's very hard to find nowadays men that are just like that, protectors, providers, someone that you would, tend to see as a value man, like real value man. I could say they are more have boy acts. So us women, we tend to mature faster than men anyways. We tend to have to take a role as a masculine type of like woman. So I feel like sometimes that's why a lot of women will say like, I don't need a man. I'm like, I could do all bad all by myself, and that's that. But in reality, I feel like we all still do need that masculinity to kind of like give us that balance, because we can't just take on two roles sometimes. Mm-hmm. I want to be just feminine. I just want to be in my feminine era, my princess era, where I'm just sitting back and I ain't gotta have to worry about so much. Mm-hmm. So I'm tired of trying to have to, be a man and a woman at the same time, and then not feel like I'm a woman. Where that's why I, probably tend to lead on to the same sex. So it just goes deeper in that. But yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing. We'll keep it moving. Pass it to you. What do you think?
I think it starts at home and like how you're raised. So like for me, I was raised by a single mother. My biological father wasn't really in my life. So seeing my mom always like work hard, I always thought to myself, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do when I get older. And I always expressed how like I would want to be a single mom and how I want to provide for my kids and stuff like that. But as I've gotten older, I realized that the men that I choose to be with, they don't know how to like be a man, and then I get frustrated and pissed off because I'm like, why aren't you like fulfilling the plate, you know what I mean? But it's like, that's what I was seeking, So after getting out of a toxic relationship previously, I've just really taken a step back and more now looking at myself and trying to heal the parts of myself that I've carried with me throughout my life. And I think once I'm able to do that, then I'll be able to find the right man for me.
Okay. And just for the sake of the question, just come back to Shay. What was your answer? Yes or no? Do most women today, I'm just talking in general, do they happen to come across a good masculine man? Do most modern women today, would they respect that? Or would they be like, I don't need you?
I would say I agree for right now. Like right now, nowadays, yes. Like women, they don't need a man.
So no. So no, they don't respect the man.
They don't respect the man.
I feel like there's just not enough men out there that are like that. So it's kind of hard to say yes or no. Like
if you had to lean one way, what would it be?
Probably not.
No? Okay.
Probably not.
Okay. All right. We'll keep it moving. Cece, what do you think?
Honestly, for the question itself, I would say no, they don't. But even like going back to that TikTok, it all really depends what those standards are, because even what she was saying, like, oh, nobody wants a woman that's going to go out and, in her words, get sloppy drunk with her friends and be around other guys. And it's like, even coming from somebody that was in a terribly toxic relationship that he was just super like, did not trust me at all, but it was a lot of projection. It's just like, why would we want to be with someone who we can't even go out and have fun with our friends? No one's saying we're going to get sloppy drunk, but obviously, especially if you go out there's gonna be guys. Like that's just what it is. Like this is the world. There's men and women. They're gonna be around. And I feel like, especially coming from women, like we don't want to be with someone who just has these like ridiculous standards, but it does all go into respect, because at the end of the day, when a woman really does come across like a good man and someone that she really feels like she can be feminine around and she doesn't have to have like that tough wall up and bring out her more masculine side, a woman will really go to the ends of the earth for you if you treat her right. Like she will give you the world. So that's my opinion on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Cece. I'll pass it to you, Carmen. Carmen, what do you think, Carmen?
Modern women. It's tough. It's really hard for me to say because I don't really consider myself 100% a modern woman. I find myself to be more of an old school traditional woman, but I do have modern skill sets. You know, I didn't talk about my son. I have a son. I'm a single mother. You know, and I've literally been single and I've had to do it by myself. I had to take on male and female roles. So I've learned to be and live with both sets. But I would love to be that home mom, you know, for the first 2 years of life, you know, after giving birth, because that's, you know, I feel like that type of energy is needed, you know, mother, child, you know, and yes, having those roles. And I actually grew up with my mother and my aunties who their husbands are the providers. They work full time and mom gets to stay home, take care of the kids, and that's her job. So I've always looked forward to that. You know, you handle your business over there, I handle mine, and we're a team. We're like, I'm a team player, you know? And I do believe in the roles as masculine and feminine. You do you, I do me, we work together. Just like, I mean, if you play sports, you know, we have a quarterback, we got your running back, you know, like you play your position, I'll play my position, we're going to be really good and win this, you know, ring. So do modern women, I can't speak for everybody, you know. If I had to lean over to one side.
Yeah, one side.
I would say no.
No.
I would say
Okay. All right, no worries. Thank you for sharing that, Carmen. Pass it to you, Anissa. What do you think? Do women respect the standards of a good masculine man?
No, not at all. Not really, because it's so hard to find that man, honestly. A lot of men out here, they play a lot of games with women and they're not honest and they don't have standards for themselves. You don't want a girl to go out sloppy, then you shouldn't go out sloppy. Like that's just respect. That's not even, I don't even know how to, like you could go out with your friends as a woman, to brunch? Is that what you want us to do? Not go out to the club? I mean,
yeah, I think it's the club.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Some people have like different, like, oh, I don't want you to go out, period. Without me, you need me there, type of thing. Like, you know, that's it depends on that man's standards. Yeah, but no, I don't think they respect the standards of men because men don't have that many standards for themselves.
I think it has to do with age too. Like I'm
Definitely.
in my 40s and I don't want to go to the club. Like
Yeah.
I want to be home and I want to be like with my partner. If we could be like, let's cook a dinner together. You know, let's sit and watch TV or something like that. Like, I don't know. I have a routine. You know, I'm not tempted to go out and drinking and making a fool of myself. Like,
I feel like
that's not
even
what I wanna do.
besides age, though, it's more just like a person thing. Like if you know that you like to stay inside, don't get with someone that likes to go out and then get mad at them and try to control them, you know, and be like, I don't want you to do that. It's like, be with somebody who fits, you know, what you like to do, your lifestyle. Is that you can't be polar opposites and then get mad that they don't want to completely change the way they live or what they like to do for fun. So I think it just depends on people.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anissa and Tiara. What do you think?
I feel like it's just a whole sandwich of things. Like, you know, you bring in the element of knowing who you are, knowing who the other person is, and then knowing where you came from and how that kind of bred you out to be who you are and how you interact. And so I don't think that modern women nowadays have the ability right now because because it's like like we said, we're put in a situation where you feel like, oh, I have to be more masculine than my masculine part. I have to be emotional in the closet, and then I have to show up and be the strong one as well, because I didn't see that growing up, or I don't see that in my partner, or I only have been experiencing guys who were, like she said, playing around, copying the field, just trying to get something out of the relationship. And then you turn around and you're like, I was serious in this. And then you took it as a joke, and it kind of goes back to that good girl gone bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember when Rihanna came out that album, it was like she was so sweet, SOS, and all that stuff. And now it's like, under my umbrella, come right fast car, breaking your dishes. Like, it goes from 0 to 100 so fast, because it's like, first off, we don't have that emotional intelligence either from the one person, or you lose it because you're like, now I'm just trying to play the game like everybody else, instead of, hey, I'm trying to settle down, be in this relationship, see what it does. And then there's also the fact of rushing into relationships. You know what I mean? And that being a dangerous thing too. And, you pass it up all those red flags.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies. As always, appreciate everybody on the live chat. Thank you so much. Let's get that live chat popping. I see you, Live, Love, Plan, Pray. Good to see you in the live chat. I see you, Big Jizz Composition. Good to see you in the live chat. First time I've seen you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Nas just dropped the super chat. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. As always, don't forget, if you have an opinion, or if you want your voice and opinions to be heard, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to respond to you guys as well. But we'll keep it moving. So,
Hold on, Will. Can't you answer the question too?
Oh, it's no. Hell no. Okay. All right. It's okay. That's I want to ask you, ladies. So let me switch it back. But does anybody want to add on to what somebody said? We've all got a chance to say our opening thoughts. But does anybody want to add on or disagree with what somebody said on here?
No, I think the only thing I could add on is a really, really, really big problem with just today's society in general, and it really affects just relationships, even whether it's friendships or anything. People are so terribly insecure nowadays, and it's like, so the simple things that you should be able to go do, or even just going out with your friends, whether that's going to brunch or going to the club, whatever the case may be, when you're insecure within yourself, everything is going to be like a threat. You have to be on guard for everything. You're going to be getting mad about little things that you shouldn't, because then you just start spiraling. And it's like, when you are really secure within yourself and you're a good communicator, it's going to be easier to come across, those good relationships, because at least you know your boundaries and you know how to communicate how you feel. And at the end of the day, if someone does end up screwing you over, you're so secure within yourself, it's like, you're lost. I'm good over here, so
okay.
Yeah.
Quick question I want to ask you, ladies. Does everybody here want a good masculine man?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you had a choice, right? Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What does a good masculine man look like? Because
That's a good
I
question.
hear that, and part of me is like, I like how you said you're old school. So it's like, that old school mentality. I do the work, you're at home, you're chilling, not chilling, but you're taking care of the household kind of thing. And then you have where some people think a good masculine man is just, oh yeah, you buy gifts and you send me on a trip, and that's a good masculine for some people. So like,
So I have my definition of what a good masculine man is, but if you guys don't mind, can you guys just list some qualities of what you think a good masculine man is as far as his role? I think Carmen brought it up. You believe in roles, right?
Yeah.
In a relationship dynamic, there's a role that a woman plays, and there's a role that a man plays, especially if you're looking for a masculine man, right? But if you could just give me some qualities or things that you think that what you would describe as a good masculine man. That's how we do Ciara. Just throw them out there.
Someone who can be versatile, because I don't want you always to just be like, I feel like I have to work all the time. I want still to have that quality time and that trust that, like, if you are going out, I don't have to worry about you running to X, Y, and Z or being on the internet checking out somebody else's DMs. Like, I want to know that without knowing and seeing through your phone that you aren't like deliberately trying to hurt me or yourself, because I feel like
so your loyalty.
The loyalty.
Okay.
Like, I feel like it's a trick, because it's like I even remember Lil Russell talking on his Instagram, he was just like, when I was younger, we used to call women hoes, right?
Yeah.
And so in saying that, he was just like, they weren't the ones. It was me. I was the one sleeping around with all the women and doing all those things. And now as a man that I've become, I'm realizing how gross that was. Like, whoa, let me reflect back to who I was and standing who I am now. So it's
So loyalty.
Yeah.
Okay. Anissa, if you had to name like the top quality of what you would describe a good masculine man, what's the top quality would that be?
Someone who has self-control.
Oh, I like that. Self-control.
Yeah.
All right. You don't want an emotional man?
No.
You want a self-control man.
Yeah.
That has self-control. Okay.
Regulate his emotions.
Regulate his emotions.
Yeah.
All right. Self-control. That's a good one. All right. Carmen, if you had to name the top quality of what you would describe a good masculine man, what would that be?
Willpower.
Willpower.
Mm.
Okay. Would that be man that's resilient?
Yeah, well, yes, resilience, but just being able to not always give in to temptation. You have to be a very skilled person to be able to like focus and put the work in.
Would that be self-control?
It's not in an emotional sense.
Yeah, well, what I mean self-control in all aspects, emotionally,
yes.
spiritually, mentally, physically,
Sexually.
sexually,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
aspects of his life.
A well-trained man.
Okay.
not in a women's sense, but like just
discipline. Discipline.
Well, yeah.
man,
There we go.
He can totally.
Okay, so discipline.
Discipline.
Very disciplined.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
so self-control and discipline. Okay, got that. Cece.
Vulnerable. I don't want to be with someone who's just tough, macho act all the time. Like, be vulnerable. Show me that you are human, and that we can have these open conversations. And that's a very big thing for me.
I gotta press this sound effect. That's vulnerability is my trigger word.
Really? Why?
When women say they want a vulnerable man, but we'll discuss it why. Because sometimes the thing is when I hear women say I want a strong, competent, self-controlled, disciplined man, but then you also want him to be vulnerable. But I think I want to ask you what vulnerability means. I think it's important because sometimes I do hear that from a lot of women that you want a strong man to have self-control and discipline at all times, but you also want him to be vulnerable. I think that those two traits conflict each other. But I would like to hear what's your definition of vulnerability, and I think we have that conversation. We can figure out.
I mean, me personally, I'm really, really someone that in all aspects likes to have deep conversations. I want to know why you are the way that you are, in any way. And even if I'm doing something that's bothering you, don't feel like, oh, well, I just, you can't tell me that. Like, be vulnerable. Tell me like, hey, what you're doing is like making me feel this way, or how can we fix this? Like, this is making me uncomfortable. Like, just be vulnerable, be human. It's really a communication thing.
That's what.
It's a big thing.
Yeah,
it's a big communication.
I think when you go deeper, I think what most women would want, you don't want a vulnerable man that when there's problems, he comes to you crying about his problems.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Do you want a man to cry about his problems to you?
I'm like,
Every single time when there's a problem, he's coming to you to cry about it, to say he's looking for you to fix his problems. Or do you? So I think.
because I'm a crybaby. So.
Yeah. I mean, is that the quality of a good leader?
No, but I mean, okay.
But I agree with you. I don't think you want vulnerability. I believe you want a man that can communicate.
Yes, but also with the crying thing, obviously, no, I don't want you to come crying to me like every time you have a problem. But I'm also
I'm vulnerable right now.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying, especially when it comes to the crying, I'm actually not somebody that like. I feel like when you cry in front of a woman who actually really does care about you, that makes us feel like, wow, you actually trust me. Like, you're being vulnerable, you're being open right now. Like, you're really showing your emotion and how you feel, but not in the sense that you're gonna come crying every time something's like wrong or you want me to fix all your problems. The same way a man probably doesn't want a woman coming to cry about their problems all the time. Like, there's levels to it. I guess there's levels.
Yeah. No, but we can talk about it a little bit more. But I think most women would just want a man that can communicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the qualities of a disciplined, self-controlled man is he figures out solutions and problems. And when there's a problem, he fixes it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you guys want to do is if a man's going through a problem, because sometimes I do agree, sometimes as a man, when we go through our problems, we just shut you off.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, because as women, you want that emotional connection that's important to you.
Mhm.
So we need to communicate that to you. Hey, baby, I'm going through something right now. Give me some time. I'm just figuring out a plan to fix it, but I got it. I think that's what women want,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
baby.
Perfect communication.
Perfect communication, right?
I
Don't tell
have
me
to,
the
I have
problem.
to speak on that real quick.
Go ahead.
I actually used to have, I used to date someone who was like that. Hey,
Yeah.
I have a problem. I want to fix it.
Yeah.
You'd want to fix it by himself. But I used to advocate like we are a team. And it would be great if we have two minds putting it together instead of just yours,
Yeah.
So I don't want to say I have an issue, but I'm just kind of like, man, I don't think a man should figure it out all by himself if he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're a team. We should be able to do this thing together.
Yeah.
Especially if it's now, if it has nothing to do with me, obviously, okay, maybe you can head up by yourself. But
Yeah.
if it has to do something with us,
Yeah, I want
we
to
should
know.
work together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Communicate.
No, I agree. I think if you as a woman have a certain skill set that you bring to the table that can fix my problem, I don't think any good man would have a problem with that. To come to you, hey, I'm figuring out this problem right now, but I know you have the skill. You used to major in finance.
Mhm.
So if he has a financial problem, he'll come to you.
Mhm.
But if it's a problem that's specified on his job, like if he's a construction worker and he's trying to figure out how to build a building, and he knows that you don't have no skill in that area, he won't come to you for that. Right? But I think I agree. But I think that's some of the things I do here online. Just because a man is going through a problem or is trying to fix it doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't want to get your input. But I think men, we're just very rational. We just want to fix it. We understand that if we believe that you have a input that can help us fix it, I think any good man will go to his wife, hey, what do you think about this? So I can get your input. But sometimes we just want some time. I think for a lot of guys, sometimes we just want some time alone and just trying to figure out the problem. And then when that time comes, when we want to come back to you, all right, then we'll come to you. But just because we want to fix it does not necessarily mean that we don't want to get your input. But I think there's a balance, right?
They
Okay.
said that they can't really hear her.
Oh,
Can't even this
okay, yeah. So
Okay,
whatever,
like
yeah.
stuck to the table.
Check. Check. 1, 2.
All right. But yeah, we'll keep it moving. I'll pass it to you, Casey. Casey, same thing.
I would say accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah, because I feel like, but that I would say like for all areas of his life, not just like in the relationship, but if he's able to have accountability like with his daily life and he's trying to express like his problem to me, if I can't like tell him, oh, well, this is where you could have done this, then it's like I'm talking to a wall,
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, accountability. Yeah. Okay, accountability is good. I'll pass it to you, Shay. Shay, top quality of a good masculine man.
Oh, well, it was accountability as well, but I would say supportive, just being supportive. Either that would be like my business or anything, and just like have an understanding where I'm like, what I'm doing and not like feel like I don't have him on like my right hand, just being there for me throughout the way. Because I had relationships where I'm in the industry where they don't understand certain things that I had to deal with, like with modeling or other stuff, and insecurities may come about from like last relationships and stuff like that with that. But like, and then it feels like I don't have a support system. I don't have no one supporting me too. Like, oh, you with me every day, but whenever I have something like to share about with you, you're kind of like, oh, I'm a little uninterested, like very nonchalant about it, don't really care about it because it's not into your liking, like it's whatever. But instead of doing that and kind of like disclosing, that's where it lacks, and that's where I will leave. I was like, because if I don't have that support and you're not supporting me, and I'm like, that's like almost it's still it's kind of like an intimacy for me. I feel like being supportive to one another, like that's something to kind of like love in that
Supportive.
and supportive.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. And Big Giz composition. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I said it's Gizmo, Will. Shout out to you on the panel. Oh, okay. Big. I'll just call it Gizmo. All right. Shout out to you, Gizmo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And as always, get those likes up. And of course, if you're watching this from IG, definitely come over. But let me know what you guys think on the live chat. So I'll pass it back to the ladies. Those are actually great qualities: loyalty, self-control, willpower, discipline, vulnerability, accountability, supportive. For me, my definition of a masculine man, we talked about this all the time on my masculine podcast on Thursdays. We call it the 3 tenets of masculinity. I would not consider you a masculine man if you don't have all 3 of these qualities, or you're lacking one. Number 1, you said it, Casey, accountability. A masculine man is accountability for his decisions and his roles and responsibilities, not only to himself, but to the people that he takes care of, and especially his family and his wife. So when I see men who are not accountable to their families, to their children, they run away from responsibility. I can't see you as a masculine man. Masculine men, they take full accountability for their roles, responsibility, and their decisions. The second one you guys mentioned, resiliency. I think you said willpower, but I like to say resiliency. You don't want a quitter. You don't want a weak man that when things get hard, he runs away or he abandons you. Because life is hard. You know what's harder? Relationships. You know what's even harder? A marriage, a strong marriage, to keep it together, that you guys stay together for a long periods of time. And when you talk to people who are married, one thing they always say is that you got to be resilient, because you're going to have your arguments. Sometimes you just hate each other, right? But because you have commitment and because you made a vow to each other that no matter what happens, we're going to stick together. And I think if you find a man that's not resilient, that when things get harder, and when you need him the most to step up, especially when you have kids, a lot of times, I don't see that today for a lot of guys, when things get hard, they blame you, or they blame somebody else, or they run away from the responsibility. So resiliency is very important. And the thing that puts it all together, you mentioned it, discipline, right? Because you got to be disciplined as a man to have self-control, financially, physically, but the most important thing women always talk about, sexually, right?
Yep.
Right? If we're going to be loyal, we're going to be committed to you, we have to be able to self-regulate and control ourselves, that we commit to ourselves, to one woman and to our children. But to a lot of guys, discipline, they claim about, I'm disciplined financially, but I'm not disciplined sexually, and my finances will make up for my lack of sexual discipline. I don't agree with that standpoint. I think if you're disciplined, it's discipline in all areas, all areas, right?
You can't pick and choose.
You can't pick and choose, right? You got to show consistency, not only for yourself as a leader. You have to set the example for your kids and your wife. If you want your wife and your kids to move in a certain way, be the example. Show them. Don't tell them. Show them through discipline, right? So discipline goes a long way, and good habits and good behavior. So that way, because everybody, as a leader, you're setting the example for everybody that's following you. So if you show bad habits, your people that follow you, your family or your wife, they're gonna follow your example. So set a good example, but that takes discipline. Okay, but the one I pass it back to you, ladies. So you guys mentioned this man. So all you guys mentioned, these are the qualities of good masculine man. So you meet this man, all right? So he has all these qualities, all right? But the question I want to flip to you guys is, what are the qualities that these men are looking? So these are qualities that you would consider that you guys need him to have, right? So this guy has these qualities. He's done the work. Look, I fulfilled your qualities, but now he's gonna flip it back to you. I also have qualities and standards that I expect out of my woman. So my question to you guys, in your perspective, what kind of standards do men want in a woman that he's gonna make his wife? And I wanna hear those standards, because that's the conversation tonight. And that the topic is, do modern women respect the standards of good masculine men? So women have high standards, and you guys mentioned all great standards. Great. A lot of guys who want to become good masculine men, they work on these things to be that type of man for you. But he also is looking for a certain type of standards in his wife as well, because biologically we're different, right? The standards in men is going to be a little bit different when it comes to standards in women. So my question to you is, and I just want to hear what you guys think. What do you think are the standards that good masculine men are looking for in their women? And if you had to list those standards and qualities, what would it be? All right. We'll start from the middle and then move. Yeah. So sorry, Carmen. Yeah. So what I have, I talk to guys. I already know these standards, but Carmen, what are the qualities that men are looking for? That they look at a woman, be like, see, she has these qualities. That's the type of woman I want a wife. She looks at a different woman. she's acting a certain way, I wouldn't want to make that my wife.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to my mind is also a mirroring discipline.
Okay.
Just I think that if a woman also has self-control, and she's able to try to also like self-control as far as her emotions go. Sometimes we can be emotional creatures, but being able to communicate through our emotions, I think, is going to be one of the tops. I'm only guessing within your list.
Okay.
But I that's the first thing I can think of.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So self-controlling her emotions. Okay. Anissa, what do you think? Well, what are the standards of masculine men are looking for in their potential wife, in their woman?
Well, if I had to list two, modesty
Mm.
and being non-combative.
Ooh,
So yeah.
I like that. Modesty and non-combative. We're gonna come back full circle on those two. That's a good one. That's a good one. And of course, in the live chat, let me know what you guys think. The men out there on the panel, what qualities that you guys look for in a woman that you potentially want to make your wife, and list them on the chat. And of ladies, if you're some of the ladies on the panel, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Some of you guys are married on the panel, so what qualities that your husband puts expectations that your husband puts on you, and that's one of the reasons why he married you. Pass it to you, Tiara.
Caring and nurturing. I noticed that a lot of times, because we are the more emotional dominant species of the two, oftentimes it's like they want to know that you can carry out, that emotional availability, having capacity. Something I feel like men don't know they need their women to do is be available for themselves too, because it's hard to show up and be like, oh yeah, I'm here for you, I'm here for you, I'm here for you, but you never show up for yourself. And then it ends in illnesses, resentment, and all the other stuff that comes with relationships that people don't talk about.
Okay. All right. Caring and nurturing. Shay, what do you think?
She kind of got what I had said, so I'm like, it's kind of like repeating back, but I would say like, submissive, but
Submissive.
I know that's the number one. They always want their woman to be submissive and just being her feminine air. Like he wants
Feminine.
they just want it to be
feminine.
Yeah.
Okay. Feminine. All right, Casey.
I would just say probably a woman who can give and receive in all areas of life.
Give and receive.
Yeah.
Okay. Give and receive. That's a good one. And then Cece.
Submissive and caring. That's
Submissive.
really all I think of.
Yeah,
Seriously, like just submissive.
Okay. All right. So I want to talk about, we can talk about a lot of these things. I do agree that a lot of these qualities are things that men are looking for. But I want to talk about one that I see that a lot of modern women today do not show that type of behavior and that standard. Anissa brought it up, modesty. Especially, I know when I talk to guys, in the way that you dress and represent him. So now I do understand. So I want to bring this to the table. A lot of modern women today would say, I'm independent. I can dress however I want to dress. I have full autonomy on myself. I don't need no man to tell me how I want to dress. So online, girls are posting pictures of their body. Something called thirst traps. I'm sure some of you guys have probably posted one or two. No? Yes.
I call it art.
All right. So
But it's like,
we live in a very sexualized time. Women are sexualizing themselves online. They're posting their bodies in the name of empowerment, in the name of freedom. So, but that's what a lot of women are saying is, look, I want a good masculine man, but the masculine man that wants a wife, that wants a family, that's built on values, is like, I don't want you to look like a whore. I want you to look like a wife if you're going to represent me. So, do you agree with that? Do you agree that if you're going to be with a masculine man, and a lot of women don't like this word, but he should have some authority on and some standard on how you dress and represent him and the family. And of course, a lot of you guys, are you going to take his last name if you meet that good masculine man?
We can 50-50.
you can have mine last.
I mean, I really love my last name, but I would take another
Yeah.
last name. I would.
Who here would take the last name with the good masculine man?
I
problem.
If he really
I would-
he's
I would
my
add it on
all,
mine.
I would. Yeah, I'd
Add
probably
it
take his name.
Just take his last name
Completely.
completely.
It's nothing.
and then get rid of my last name, or is that
That-
like completely get rid of your last name?
No, that would
and
be your
then-
maiden.
Or like, can you, can
I'm
you
gonna
like
add that to the
change?
list. Last name, you gotta take that.
But like, can you like keep your last name as your middle name, like add it to your middle name and then do their last name, or like? Because I've heard that. I've heard different
You know,
stories.
culturally, like in the Latino culture, we have our dads and our moms.
Yeah.
So we have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's-
then when we marry, we drop one. And we
Right.
take our husband's name, and we still have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
our
it
other
depends on
last
the
name.
culture.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for Middle Eastern and Muslim culture, you always keep the last name of your father,
Okay.
Yeah.
even if you get married.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
children are your husband's last name, but you keep the last name of your dad.
Okay. But whose last name's first?
There is no like. It's just you keep your dad's.
Oh,
last
dad's
name,
last name. Okay.
Period. Yeah,
Alright.
for the following the lineage or
Okay.
something.
But who here would just take the last name of the husband? Won't even fight back. Just like, I'll take it. If you meet that good masculine man.
If he's good, I'll take it. Fine, I'm yours.
All right. Or you just take it.
We're just gonna work this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, the modesty. So I want to bring that to the table. Do you guys agree that if you're going to meet a good masculine man, that's because a lot of women will say that that's controlling. That's a very toxic, controlling man. He's trying to tell me what to do. But the men see it in a very different way. It's not even about control. It's how you represent me and our family and our kids. So if you look like you're from the streets and that's how you represent yourself, that's for him is like, is that really a good value to have and standard you're going to carry to represent our family and our children? But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that's it's controlling, or that's a good standard that men should have on their wives? Who wants to go?
Okay. Well, because my thought is just like, okay, so it's how you present it to me first. Like if you present it to me, you dressing like a HOE, and then you telling me I can't go out like that, I'm gonna want to rebel because that's gonna be my first thought of mine. Like you're trying to control me. The way you address me is telling me that this is a controlling. This is a matter of fact that I can't do this. Instead of, hey babe, you sure you want to go out like that? Ooh, that's a little revealing. Are you okay? Are you comfortable? Like you asking those questions and making us think more.
Can I correct you on one thing? Good masculine men are not gonna have that conversation with you. Hey, they're gonna address it from the front. It's not even a conversation. This is the way you dress to represent me and my family. It's either you get on the program or you don't. Because I do hear from a lot of women because they'll have that discussion with their men. These guys don't negotiate. There's non-negotiables when it comes to their standards. So if when it comes to you, look, you'd be like, look, I know you're single. I know you've been living your life, but if we're gonna get married, to take this seriously, this is the way I prefer you to dress and represent me and the family.
Wouldn't that conversation happen up front? Like
Yeah,
I don't feel like
up front.
I don't feel like it'd be like in the middle of your
That's the other-
two-year relationship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know?
He would already set that expectation up front.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to have those
in between
in between
conversations.
conversations.
Yeah,
It's already
okay.
set.
Yeah, if I had a partner like that, I don't know. It probably wouldn't work out. Like to be honest, like I feel like there are good men out there that can still appreciate you dressing how you feel comfortable. Because sometimes I take it as a comfort level. Some women are feel more comfortable dressing with less clothes. Some people feel more comfortable dressing with more. I prefer to do the in-between method where it's like I can show a little bit and feel sexy to myself about myself without showing the world that this is who I am. And then I can dress sexy if I wanted to and still know that I respect myself enough to not let people be grabbing or doing anything that's like remotely inappropriate. They're going to always look, regardless if you have skimpy clothes on or you have a whole covered up moo dress on, looking like a grandma.
Sweatpants.
I'm just being honest because you think about it. You walk down the street, even as a young girl, when I was like 16 or whatever, just going to the bus stop wearing normal clothes, a t-shirt and pants. You still get hollered at by the grandpa.
I feel like you get more attention when you look a mess. Like I swear, you get more attention when you look a
I walk
mess.
out of the grocery store with some sweats and stuff like that, and I have a whole hoodie on. It's like, man, you fine.
Yeah, like wait, I'm looking crusty. I'm looking dusty today. This is
I'm
not-
a boy, but all right.
And so I think that's kind of like what plays into my mind. But if you know the person, you know, and that they're not comfortable with you dressing like that and you never dressed like that before, then it kind of does make you go like, what is she dressing like that for? And I'm not cool with that because you've had that conversation like, hey, this is what I expect from you. This is what I expect from myself. And then also making sure that her boundaries and her needs are met with that as well.
Okay.
I think also like we're in the day of age of social media. So like if a guy is like trying to choose you, they could see what you wear online already.
Yeah.
And then if you run into somebody physically, it's like you met that person, how they look. If you should know right off the bat, like how they dress.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know.
Okay.
So
Yeah, like I know, like I do modeling, like maybe perceive, my pictures perceived like the way, but sometimes I be really dressed up like a little tomboy, like it was like throughout the day, and it's whatever how I really feel. Like sometimes a lot of women like to dress the way, express their how they feel, or it's like it's like a practice of just self, having like building up your creativity and just bringing up your self-esteem. So sometimes they want to wear a little bit skin. It's for them to just feel, good. And now I would have bring my dude out there with me so you could just walk me around with me like I'm your trophy. And yes, I am wearing this and he loves this.
Yeah.
My man loves this on me. Like he don't care, and I could wear this even at night, and I feel like, it depends on the man too, because some men actually don't care. Like sometimes they like the woman, like how they like, oh, I like when she does her this and that. And make it all cute.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
From the point of view of a man, I personally completely understand. Like the man that we're basically speaking of here in this conversation, I completely understand if a guy like that doesn't want to be with somebody that is going out in booty shorts and a bralette or the skimpiest little crop top. Like for me personally, that's completely understandable.
Yeah. Well, of course I wouldn't be walking out looking like I'm single. I just wouldn't go outside like that without him. That's just what it is. Like I wouldn't be going outside looking like that unless, he's just around me. But like, let's say I'll say, yeah, is this good? He was like, yeah, you look good. Now I understand some females, I'm not gonna lie. I do see females that be married and they be like they just wearing, they be really dressed up. I would have been like, girl, you married? I didn't even know you was married, girl. That's like booty all out, girl. I didn't know. I was like, but yeah. So I'd be surprised sometimes too, So I wouldn't be doing too much like that. Like, of course, I would have been covering up a little more. Like, okay, I'm not single no more, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, like I said, I understand, but also don't make her feel bad about it. Like if she does put on something that you don't like, don't try to start calling her a hoe and being like, you look like a slut. Like what the hell are you wearing? Like
it's the way you present it.
It's the way you present it, exactly. Yeah.
Because
I feel like a good man wouldn't call you a hoe.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not really.
Yeah.
But I think that there's I like how you said there's a representation aspect, but it goes both ways. We both represent each other with and without each other.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to go out when you're not with me? How you'll act when you're not with me?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just goes both ways as far as like, how one dresses.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to be conscious of like how, yes, I want to represent my man and myself when I'm out without him and with my girls.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why I personally, I don't go out drinking.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be sloppy drunk and, and
looking crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good,
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
You want to add on, Anissa?
I agree. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah. Sometimes I do hear, and I think you brought it up. You said that you want like an in between.
Well, yeah, because like for me, I grew up, like she said, I grew up having moments where I dress up super girly and like not revealing girly, but like, I want to feel more feminine. I want to feel more like, the person I know I am. And then I also have those moments where I want to dress down and wear my sweats or my baggy shorts or whatever and just be relaxed in the house. But, those are different situations for different settings because like, let's say like, oh, the concept is, I'm going out with my girls for her birthday. You know what I mean? And this is the theme. And the theme is lingerie or something. Are you going to get mad at her for saying that, hey, my friend asked me to go out, I'm not doing nothing? In the back of your mind, this person never cheated on me, never told me a lie, never put me in a position to make me feel insecure in the aspect of going out to where I feel like I have to say that.
So if you were married to a man and your friend had a lingerie party, you would go to that lingerie party. Yeah,
and I said, can I bring my man too? Can he come? And it would be a thing because for me, I'm not going to just say
I already know for a fact that good masculine men wouldn't even entertain that idea at all.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing lingerie at a party that's going to be likely a lot of alcohol and drugs and people, especially if it's gonna be a lingerie party, there's gonna be a lot of men out there looking to get sex.
Yeah, it's already meant to be sexual if it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lingerie
So why would
party.
you-
like-
my question is, why would you put yourself in that situation? Because we're talking about standards. The standards that we have is to not put ourselves in situations like that.
Well, if you have that connection with your partner to where they're okay with you dressing like that already, or if they're feeling as though they don't have that need to tell you don't go to that, don't wear that, then it's kind of a different ballgame. Like my partner, for instance, if like, you know, how you're like, I don't go out and stuff like that because I don't want to do that. Like my partner's like, oh, well, you like to go dancing. You like to do that stuff. I'm not a big dancer. I'm not big into the club scene, and I don't really drink. I myself don't drink a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I'll go out respectfully. I'll dance to myself in a little corner, whatever. If there are people with me, I keep an eye out for people and stuff like that. I'm more of like that nurturer
with
friend.
or without your man.
Without him, because he doesn't want to go. I'm not gonna force you to go somewhere you don't want to go. But he trusts me so much that he's just like, oh, we'll go, and I don't do it a lot. Like I don't
He's
go
letting
out.
you be
What's
your
that
own
face?
person.
I want to know your
Letting you be
face.
your own
What do
Yeah,
you
'cause he's
mean?
like, doing something right now.
Without your man.
But like, you know, because my thought is I want to bring him, but his thought is I don't want to go. And so part of me is like, I'm not gonna like. He met me as a person who was like, I like to have fun, but I'm not gonna have fun with other men or other women, and I'm not gonna put myself in a position to where I'm super vulnerable and just wasted on the floor. And people can easily try to, you know, grasp my attention or, you know, say, hey, come here, dance with me. Like the answer is no, first off.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Second
I have a
off, I'm
question.
not here for that.
For you,
Hmm.
do you think he actually cares?
That I go out.
No, like cares about you. If he was like, oh yeah, go out, wear lingerie, whatever. You
No,
think he cares about
it's
your
not.
safety?
It's not
Even
so
if-
much that because it's not that I do go out in lingerie.
Oh,
Now, if it was a themed birthday party,
Yeah.
he'd probably be like, oh, who's going to be there?
okay.
What's going on? So he's going to ask those questions. He's
Yeah.
going to check in on me, make sure I'm okay. See, like he'll see what I'm wearing before I even leave the house
Mhm,
because he's just like, ooh, can I check it out? Can I see?
mhm.
You know, and then we have that discussion. I'll say, ooh, is this too much?
And he's okay with that.
And yeah, he's okay with that. And he's not insecure. And so that makes me feel secure in
Yes.
going to spend time with my friends because he knows how I am, who I am, and how I rock when I go out. I'm not just setting myself up for failure in our relationship or a failure in the situation to be like, oh, I'm available. Because I'm not.
Mhm.
And I know I'm not. You know, and I let other people know that I'm not as well.
Yeah.
Because that's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole
He's still
umbrella
giving you
thing.
that face.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I have to disagree. I don't know how I'm gonna say this. Do you think that? Can I ask you the question, ladies? Do you believe that when women decide to wear clothes that's very revealing, do they do it for themselves so you can feel pretty, or do we do it for the validation of other men?
I wouldn't
And
say the
I-
validation of
and-
other
And
men.
I just want to
but-
ask. And I just want to ask this. Like, we can just be honest on this conversation because I do hear a lot of women that will say, "Well, I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel sexy. That's why I want to dress into lingerie. That's why I want to be very revealing." But my question is, why do we have to feel beautiful? Why do we have to wear revealing clothes to feel beautiful? You can be classy and cover up and still feel beautiful. And I think also, if you're dressing that way, I think as women, you know that what men are gonna look. But I think if you're in love with your man, and I don't know if you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I truly believe if women really love you, if you really love your man and he's that type of man, he's a good man, and you respect him, I think most women only want his attention.
Yeah.
You don't want other men's attention.
Mhm.
And I think when I hear women to say, I would want to wear certain clothes or certain things that attracts attention, I don't think you truly deeply love and respect your man like that. Because any man with self-respect will not allow you to dress that way. And if that man is allowing you, because one of the roles in our nature, what we feel towards our woman is we want to provide and protect you.
Mhm.
That she talked about safety.
Mhm.
Is we understand that you going in that situation is going to cause a risk and you're not going to be in a safe situation. So and my role as a man is to protect you. Because I understand how men think. When they see you by yourself in lingerie and the man's not there, they're going to come and approach you.
Mhm.
And my thing is, if I'm with a woman and my woman thinks that that's okay, then I know for a fact that she doesn't respect me that way, because I think if she truly loved me and I'm doing all the things that you want me to do, I'm doing everything that you want me to do and fulfilling my role and responsibility. I think when women meet that type of man, you really love, respect, you only want his attention.
Mhm.
And when I see women that are with the man and they're still wearing revealing clothes and allowing other men to see, I think deep down, I don't know if it's consciously or subconsciously, that you're still looking for validation from other men. And if you're with a woman that's still seeking validation from other men and not yours as a man, I think that woman doesn't really love you the way she says you love her, that loves you like that. I don't, that's just my opinion. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
I mean, well, going back to what you said, that some people do feel like more pretty, like wearing less. Some people feel more pretty wearing more. There's definitely levels to it. So yes, some people do feel better wearing less, but it also comes to the point where you can't lie. You are looking for
Yeah,
attention.
exactly.
You do want
That
validation
part.
from other people. Like, oh, look
That's
at
what I'm
her.
saying.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah. At the end of the day, like people can't lie. It comes to a point where you are looking for attention,
Yeah.
whether
Like the coochie mommy shorts.
yeah.
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 But that's my pushback against you is if you're going to say you said that you'll be down to go to a lingerie party, understanding there's gonna be men out there. Understand the men will approach you, you know, especially if it's a party, there's gonna be partying involved, alcohol involved. These guys will approach you. So why would you put in your if you have a partner, why would you intentionally put yourself in a situation that's gonna allow men to approach you and might cause issues not only for yourself or not only for your personal safety? There's a lot of creeps out there. Some guys who try to be creepy and try to take advantage of you. So for me, is if we're in a long-term relationship, why put yourself in a situation that can sabotage our relationship? Why would you do that?
It's not so much of putting myself in a situation to sabotage. It's more of me feeling comfortable in my skin. It's not taking away from your masculinity and your protection of me, but it's also understanding that part of who I am felt comfortable enough to put this on and feel sexy in my body. And in that sense, it's more of like you get dressed down out of all this stuff you're wearing, the jewelry, the clothes, you know, the hairstyles and stuff. And who are you? Like I'm 6-7 months postpartum, right?
Yeah.
So what comes with that is you redefining who you are every time you've had birth or you've given birth.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it's a lot of soul searching. It's a lot of figuring out, hey, how can I feel comfortable in my body again? I know I used to dress like this. I might not dress exactly like how I used to before I was in a relationship, but I have to have some understanding that, you know, I can feel comfortable in whatever I wear. And I'm not going to go out in no coochie shorts or a bra and just say, hey, look at my chest. You know, there's jackets, there's leggings, there's Savage X Fenty, and she came out with a whole line of different options for us to wear. So we're not limited to just underwear and a bra or, you know, the most revealing lingerie, you know, and most times now, because we are a evolving species of women, we're learning how to have safer environments for those kind of things. So of course, I'm not going to go out to the club in no lingerie for my friend's birthday. I'm sorry, honey, we're gonna have to reschedule it. But you know, reschedule not the lingerie party, but reschedule a party in general. Reschedule a party for us to do in general, like a brunch or something, or you know, maybe a couple cocktails at the house. But that's a little different. You know what I mean? It's like you know what environment you're going to and you understand who's going to all be there. Because I asked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the thing. There's asking who's going to be there. Where are we going? What time is it? What am I supposed to be wearing? What can I wear to feel more comfortable in my skin if I am deciding to go? And can I bring my partner? Because like I said, it's not, like you said, it's not for other men. It's for your partner. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm just nice for him anyway. And when I come home, hello, I'm here. And I'm ready to show this off to you. It's not for the other men, but it does give you that feeling of satisfaction. Hey, I still feel comfortable in my body again to wear it. You know what I mean? To be in a space where it's like I'm not being shamed for it, because I feel like that's often the place we go to, especially with women. And when it comes to being our own people and our own person and doing our own thing.
Do you think that you can feel beautiful without wearing revealing clothes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So why not just do that?
Well, like I said,
I changed up my hair.
Yeah, you change up your hair.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I think
it's just different.
If you have a man that's giving you words of affirmation,
right.
If you have a man that's telling you that you're beautiful, he's treating you, he's taking care of you emotionally, also sexually, I just don't understand why would you go and seek validation or attention if he's giving you the attention, right?
Yeah.
So because I think most women, if you're in love with somebody, and has anybody here been in love?
Yeah.
When you guys were in love, whose attention did you only want to see?
Yeah, it's just your man.
My man.
Yeah, my man.
Can we all agree?
Yeah.
Can we all agree? Like you only wanted his attention. Every other man was invisible, right?
Yeah.
The attention and what other one were saying. When you're truly in love with the man, that's the only attention you're seeking out. If that man's reciprocating in a healthy way and making you feel beautiful physically, emotionally, and sexually, you don't want to see the validation of any other man or attention from the other men. And that is, from my standpoint, is if a woman is intentionally doing things to seek the validation or put herself in circumstances, situations like going to a club or whatever, where there's a lot of men around. That's why a lot of guys, we understand, is that woman truly doesn't love you like that. Because if you're on point as a man and you're doing what you're supposed to do and she really loves you, she won't look any other way. Now, I agree, if you fail in that as a man, she's gonna look somewhere else and find validation.
Definitely.
I agree with that. So I agree with that. But I'm saying is, if you're talking about the good masculine man that we're talking about, he's doing all that. So why would you go do that? And that's when like I said, when I hear that, that's just my own strong opinion. When I hear women say, "Well, I have a good man, I really love him, he loves me, and he lets me do this," and I'm like, I don't know, it's either you don't really love him like that, or he doesn't really, like you said, care about you like that to protect you. Because men who want to protect you will make sure to have certain standards, so that way we don't put ourselves in compromising positions. Because we want to protect this relationship. Like why would we do things, both from the men and women, to put ourselves in situations to sabotage relationships?
Like what situation?
Going to the club.
But you said like men putting themselves in a compromising situation. Like what would be an
perfect.
example of that?
Example would be doing dumb shit with your friends. Like if I have friends that like right now, I had to cut off some of my friends. They like to drink, they like to party, they like to smoke. So those things doesn't add value to me. And also, I don't want to be in situations they might influence me to do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay,
So
I completely understand.
especially if we're talking about relationships, especially if we're talking about family. I have kids.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have children with my wife, I have responsibility. I don't want to put myself and hang around with certain people
Yeah.
that might cause an issue not only to me, because if it harms me, it harms my children and my wife.
Yeah.
So that's my different.
Yeah, it's definitely like teamwork makes the dream work, but I feel like in a good relationship like that, it does start with the man. Like he is the example. Like if I was really like in a marriage where he is making me feel super secure, beautiful, like just great, I'm not even gonna want to go to a lingerie party. I'm gonna want to be inside with my man. Like,
that's basically what I was.
Yeah. Like,
so I was saying, what if the man feel out about it, where they feel like they're less attracted to you because you're so comfortable being secluded, cover up, and they're like, you know what, you never done nothing really.
And that's
sexy for me, like, you know, like
no, when
and then they start looking at you, go out, and then they looking at other revealing women, and they're like, dang, like, and I'm like, hold on, like, you know, I still look good like that too, but you know, sometimes men do that, and they will ask you, even in marriage and relationships. I've seen even in events, men would start looking at like, oh, then they start wanting to do that little poly thing where it'd be like, maybe we should add someone into our flavor, like, you know.
That's a deeper issue.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like even to what you're saying, that's not a good man. Like that's
not
where the whole loyalty thing comes
right,
into
but
play.
like that. But I've seen women really be that loyal to men like that. Saying, like, this is my man. He makes me feel safe. He makes all that, and then they say that's a good representative, high value man.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Mm-hmm.
When you guys are in love with your man, right? And your man.
I mean, I would never do that though.
Look, when you guys are in love with your man, and he's doing his own point, do you really want to spend going by yourself to the club? Because I truly believe if a woman really loves you,
I would never want to go by myself.
Yeah, no, I want to go with my man to the
watching
club.
Netflix, enjoying a good date at home with your man that really loves you.
Yeah.
Why would you go to a club with guys that don't really give a fuck about you?
Yeah, but also it does come to the point too where, you know, you do have to have time like with your friends, whether that's going to the club or doing whatever the hell. Like you can't be with your man 24/7. You know, that's in itself not healthy.
You need a balance.
You should like also, you know, a good man, but having a good woman. It obviously this is not frequent, but if she does decide like, hey, it is my friend's birthday, like we're going out to the club tonight, like you should not be tripping about that. Like it's not like it's a frequent thing. Like I mean, come on now, you know, like you gotta compromise sometimes.
I can see it's kind of like it's that balance, right? It's like you said, like, you know, I'm not often going out. And I'm saying it from my point of view. I don't go out just to go out. I don't go out just because my friends are saying, let's go to the club, girl, let's go to the club. It has to be like a special event. It has to be like your birthday or your wedding celebration or something similar to that line where I'm like, okay, I'll go out. And then if he can't go, which will really suck, because for me, I want to go out with my man. Like, I want him to enjoy that fun stuff with me. But if he's not in the mood and you're tired and you've been working, I'm not going to force you either. But I'm also not going to be dressing in a way that's going to be revealing to the point where other men feel like it's okay to come and approach me as though they can come at me and be like, hey, girl, yeah, you want to drink? And no, it's just enough.
I think it's so weird. I know you guys talk about clubs, and I feel like I want to assume you guys talk about hip hop clubs. When I feel like I need to go out to dance, I need to dance salsa.
I like a salsa club.
You know,
Not
because
salsa.
but salsa is like
You
first
just
off, you
dance.
can't just kind of show
Salsa by
up and like
yourself.
hump.
Yeah.
No, I do
somebody.
be seeing sometimes in salsa clubs they do be doing a little.
But it depends on the dance too. Like bachatas very like
bachata,
sensual.
yeah, they
You
would
know,
do that.
salsa can be very
They switch
sensual,
it up.
and
Mhm.
you know, but that's part of my culture. You know, like this is first off, you got to be skilled. You know,
Mhm.
not just
Yeah.
any old guy can come
Can,
through,
right.
and you know, coming from behind. But there have been times where I was in my relationship. I'm just like, hey, I want to go dancing. And to be honest, sometimes that guy doesn't know how to dance. But I'm like, no, I need it in my life because I love to dance. That is
Right.
my thing, and I
Yeah.
need to be tossed and turned and dipped and
Yeah.
flipped, and flipped. You know, but it's nothing sexual. But you know, it's not a sexual thing. It's just more of like. It's actually part of the feeling beautiful part, to be honest.
But that's culture,
you know.
right there. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's
You know,
Now I know modern society will look at that from a lens of, oh, that's sexual, but no, that's culture.
Yeah.
So that's a little like we have dances in our Prince of Islander. That's a lot of people may. I don't know if you've seen the hula dances, a lot of the Hawaiian hula dances.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now modern society, Western society will sexualize it. But
Yeah.
from our culture, we don't look at it and sexualize it. It's part of our culture.
Mhm.
So the salsa dance, bachata, that's a
Mhm.
classic. That's a classic.
Twerking
Yeah.
is a cultural
That's a
dance
cultural
too.
thing. Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. It's
Hip hop
African
is
cultural-
African culture, like
African
twerking.
hip-hop.
That is like
Now,
natural.
twerking
That's
is not
like
cultural. It's not.
It is.
It
If
is
you
actual.
follow Afro-Cuban hip-hop, it
when they
definitely
dance
is.
around, like even like in like
there's a country
African
in
child
Africa.
No,
and stuff
in
like that,
Africa,
and Ethiopian, they
no,
do
yeah. I'm just
like
saying twerking in America
gyrate with
is
body.
not cultural. So,
It is. It's
It's
African
cultural.
culture.
It's African American culture. It's like it's cultural, but yeah, they just sexualize it.
No,
That's
no,
what I'm
no.
saying.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
just
It's-
like anything else,
They don't do it for
sexualize
cultural.
it.
They don't do it for cultural reasons.
No,
Well, at the
you're right.
club,
It's not
no.
here.
Yeah,
You're
not
right.
at the club.
no.
No, but if it was like something like
A
a
twerk class or something.
class or a reggae or Caribbean type of class, like
Yeah.
whining and all
But
that.
that's a very
still.
specific situation. I'm saying
Yeah.
the majority of women who twerk online.
Oh
That's
yeah. Oh, you talking about that? I mean, yeah, like
That's-
strippers and stuff like that.
that's
Yeah, I
sexual.
mean
That's sexual.
that's sexual. You know, but they make it like that.
No,
See,
they
just-
don't.
No, they I feel like they sexualize anything though nowadays. Like you can sexualize
Anything.
literally
Or
anything. Like you
Eating
can
a hot dog, you can sexualize
you can
eating a
sexualize
watermelon.
eating right.
You
Like
can
No, what
I feel like
yeah.
and people put it online and make it seem like that.
No, what I'm saying is
But yeah,
there's a lot of cultural aspects to certain rituals and dances.
Mhm.
I would say there's only a very minority of people who's trying to practice it in that cultural way.
Mm-hmm.
Most people who do those things, they'll try to sexualize it online.
Right.
yeah.
That we're talking about modern society. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm honest, like yes,
Yeah.
everything's sexualized.
Yeah, even going back though to the whole like club thing, I feel like a really big thing here is the whole drinking thing and this idea that if you're going out, especially like to a club, you're getting sloppy drunk and you're putting yourself in a position for like people to prey on you and all that. I feel like if you go out and you get sloppy drunk, you should even be going out.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
can't
Stay
handle
home.
your
Take
liquor, how
liquor.
about don't drink? Like
Right.
it all too comes down to being a responsible drinker. Like I feel like me personally, if I'm gonna go out and drink and I know I'm in public and around a bunch of strangers and in a situation in a club, like you got to watch your drink, you got to watch, your surroundings. You're not going to be sitting there getting sloppy drunk. And that also just comes down to being a responsible person and a responsible drinker. So you can go to the club and be completely sober. And is that going to make your man as upset as you going to the club and getting sloppy drunk?
And
I feel like
wearing
they're two
regular
different levels,
clothes.
right?
I have a question, but anybody want to respond to her?
I mean, I could agree because I mean, it's just like if I'm going to the club wearing regular clothes, dressed up in a t-shirt and jeans, and then let's say I get a drink and I'm effed up by the end before the end of the night, and then that makes me pray. Compared to if I'm not as I'm dressed up to be more revealing, and then I don't drink at all, and I'm just kind of watching out for my friends. Like, what is the mindset behind that?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
I want to ask you ladies a question. Do you guys believe that if you are, I want to ask you this question. When you guys get married, do you ever want to get divorced and remarry again?
I mean, I
wanna-
feel like that's nobody's goal.
Yeah.
You don't have that in mind. You're like, I'm
That's
gonna
one.
marry him, and then I'm
One thing.
gonna
Alright,
get
so-
divorced a few years
So you
later.
want to just marry one time and find your long-term partner and spend the rest of your life together.
That's the
That'd be
goal, but it doesn't
ideal.
always
Yeah.
work out that way.
Yeah.
But it does to some people.
Yeah.
But
Right.
this is
Yeah.
where I'm going with the conversation. So in America, divorce is almost 50%. People have to marry multiple times, but there are people out there who marry one time and they stay forever and they stay together and they are in a healthy relationship.
Mhm.
So I want to ask you guys this question. So you guys all said that you do not want to get divorced. So would you also agree that if you don't want to get divorced, then the priority of the way we live our lives is to protect our relationship? Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if we have to protect our relationship, that means we have to have standards of how we live and the certain decisions we make, so we don't do anything to compromise or risk our relationship. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have a problem with if you want to have friends, because go out there and be social, have friends. But I think when you have friends, you have to make sure that those friends or those situations are aligned with the values of what you build a relationship.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if you want to
Respect.
go out with your
Mhm.
friends, I'm sure you have friends, but you have to make sure that you're going out with friends that also have the same values and they also want to protect their relationships.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
All right. But I think I just don't understand that when people say, I want a good relationship, I want it to last forever, I don't want to get divorced, but you do things and you put yourself in situations that would jeopardize relationships. So going to the club, why would you go to the club without your man? Why would you go to the club when you know there's a lot of alcohol involved? People might slip you a drink. There's a lot of men out there. I just don't understand that mentality, and also respect the men should do it as well. If I'm a man, if I have children, I'm not gonna go with my friends that like to drink all the time because I know that's gonna jeopardize me and my relationship.
Yeah.
So I think,
Mhm.
I think that's where my issue is. That when we get married, and now correct me if I'm wrong, do you believe that when you get married, it's a different lifestyle you live compared to how you're single? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely.
So I guess that's my pushback is a lot of times when we have conversations of marriage and a good relationship, a lot of times you're still trying to fight to keep the things that you were doing when you were single.
Yeah.
When you were single, it was okay to
Right.
go to the club.
Yeah.
When you were single, it was okay to go out there and be by yourself. But you're not single no more.
Right.
Mhm.
You're married. You have a family. You have kids. So we cannot live the same way being single when you're in a marriage. And I just don't understand the mentality that I can have both.
Yeah.
You're like striking a nerve right now. Like, so I recently broke up with a partner I've been with for 3 years
Yeah.
because I called it, you're still making single man decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were with somebody. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're making some single man decisions.
Yeah.
And I've always referred to it as like, we used to be friends and we now upgraded to being in a relationship.
Right.
I'm just like, yo, you just got upgraded, which means you have more benefits. You should act like you're in charge, my
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's kind of like being an employee and you're a manager now. You have more responsibilities.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
now
Can't-
one of your elite.
You just
employees.
got
Right.
promoted.
You got promoted.
You just got promoted. There's more responsibilities
Mhm.
and accountability. You are
Yeah.
Yo,
You up there?
I'm so upset.
You know,
I'm trying to get all mad all over
You know,
again.
But
I'm
that's-
in a
that's-
5-year-long relationship with a best friend. He was like my friend, closest friend. I ended up dating him, but then I realized like maybe I shouldn't have. The reason why I said that is because like I felt like I was very vulnerable at the moment. He was always listening. He always like had wrote down his notes, knew exactly what I like, whatever. Like he just he studied me. He did his research. But then you play a part, play a role, and then 6 months later, find out you cheated on me with your employees. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm over here supporting, congratulating you on your promotion or you being a manager for 3 years. Now you're getting a raise, you're doing all this other stuff, and I'm sitting there being your number one cheerleader when you're making money for us, but you're really
Yeah.
spreading out, sending out your
Yeah.
money out to somebody else, and all this other stuff. Sometimes like you know, and then like you don't really see it right then and there because they're treating you so well at the moment, and they really blindside doing all this other stuff. So it's just like,
Yeah, and
I
that's
mean,
what sucks. It
yeah.
always goes back to that, like the
Mhm.
whole trust thing. Because, like you said,
Mhm.
somebody can make themselves for months, even years at a time.
Yeah.
And so great, do everything perfect. Like you guys have it great going on, and then you get the "Hey girl" message. Like,
hey
girl.
what's your man?
Yeah,
Who the
like,
FBI married?
or even people. There's
Yeah.
really people out there that will literally be living a whole double life, and it's just
Yes.
like. So that just really sucks because then you can move on to the next relationship, but then that's like traumatizing. Like that's always gonna play a part in the way you
because
think, and then
you
it
just-
might even make
uh-huh.
you insecure because you're like, well, damn, I was being so good to you, I was being loyal to you, and I thought it was mutual, and then everything was a facade.
Yeah, brings you back to the good girl gone bad.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But just to
Yeah.
go back to what Cece was saying, do you guys agree or disagree? Do you guys agree that if you're in a relationship with a good person, do you think that you should be able to go and drink by yourself at the club?
I don't know.
Or would that be a red
I've
flag?
never gone
I
to
would
the
know
club
that
by
by
myself.
myself.
That
I'd rather just be staying with my dude. Like, you
Yeah.
know, me and
But that's what I'm
him.
saying.
Like, I'd rather just be at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he want, and if like one day we just like, hey, let's just go out to the club together, then that's what we do. But like, if we're not really, you know, no one's
Right.
really.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems I see today in modern dating is that people they're in a relationship, but they still acting the same way
Mm-hmm.
when they're single. But I put a lot more accountability on the men because I think when you're the man, you set the expectation on your woman, and you have to be able to set that as be the leader first. But I think a lot of guys, and I think society has normalized it, that if I tell a woman, hey, I don't want you to go to the club, I don't want you to hang out with your single and whole friends, all right, I want you to be around people that are in good relationships. I think if I say that out loud for a lot of modern women, they would call me controlling. Oh, you're toxic, you're trying to control me. No, I'm trying to protect our relationship here.
Yeah.
That's the priority. Like we're going to a relationship, we have plans. I'm trying to protect this, and I think both men and women we should have standards and values for the foundation of your relationship.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times society has told you guys that when good men do this for the certain of this topic, he's toxic, and when you find a man that does that for you, you would let him go, or you would call him toxic. And if you prefer to go with your friends at the club, then be with your man, or follow the standards of a good masculine man.
Yeah.
Are you saying
It's
that
like-
a good masculine man would also follow his own rules?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he
As long as no
better
double
if he
standard things
does-
happening.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta set the example.
Yeah.
One of the-
now
like
you
I
be
said-
just a hypocrite if you just do that,
Yeah.
say that, and you're not doing
Well,
that.
Yeah.
The
know.
first tenet of
Mhm.
masculinity I brought up in the beginning was accountability.
Right.
I can't hold you accountable if I'm not accountable.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I think that's one of the dumbest shit I see online when men put the standard on their women, but they don't follow the same standard.
And I think that's kind of where it kind of stems from, because it's always that hypocritical situation where it's like
Mhm.
the woman, the double
Double
standard, where it's just like, oh, I'm doing what we agreed upon because it's an agreement, right? It's not, oh, I'm telling you this is what you need to do. I'm telling you this is what you need to wear. And that's where it comes into that foundational conversation of, you know, how you treat each other off bat. Because if if my thought is, if you telling me don't hang out with your hoe friends, I'm like, what hoe friends? First off, I have hoe friends. Well, cause not everybody who's single is a hoe, and not everybody who's a hoe is single. And so you have to kind of
But ladies,
gauge
but
that.
ladies-
I get what you mean, though, in the
Yeah.
sense that you probably know those friends.
Yeah, I
that,
mean,
like,
I'm saying
that
that
likes to get male attention
But
a
I'm-
lot.
yeah,
You be
I'm
like,
saying,
all right,
like-
girl, you always be around dudes. I can't be around you.
Yeah, I don't want to be
girl.
around
Like,
you. Like,
But
I
then
wanna
you
be around
know
those
that.
guys.
Like, I feel like if you're a woman who acknowledges, oh, your friend a little sloppy when they go out, they over there doing what? Like, that's something in the back of your mind. You already knew that was going to happen. So if you know that that person is like this and you're setting yourself out to go out with them, do you really need to be going out with them? Like you said, like, do you really need to be spending that time with these type of people? Because as you're elevating and growing and learning, you're learning that this person isn't the best for me.
Yes.
And I want this.
Yeah.
And the more you want something, the more you show up for it. Like I was telling her the last time I didn't even go to the club. I went to the bars with my sister for her 22nd birthday.
Yeah.
But we were in a group and it was all females, right? Her friends were doing their thing. I'm dancing with them. And that's all we did. We danced. We went from each place. We kept out a lookout for each other. And it was still fun and respectful. And it wasn't like, oh, a dude could come up and talk to us, because Like I said, I'm never gonna go to no club, no bar, no nothing like that by myself. That's a big red flag in the first place. Why do you feel the need to go out by yourself? You know what I mean? That would be the first house.
Right. Exactly. Why you want to go to the house?
Well,
Like,
we
we
know-
can
we
bring a couple friends over.
But we know the
before you
need.
come to the
Like,
house.
when we do
Well,
that.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, if you're a good woman and you're looking for that commitment, you're looking for that settlement,
Yeah.
but you don't have a real reason why you're doing things.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't really grown.
Yeah.
You are not elevating, and you're not putting yourself in the best position to continue doing that. You know.
Can I ask a spicy question?
Hmm.
You got
What's the question? I'm just waiting.
do you guys in your closest circle of friends, do you guys have hoe friends, and are they a good influence to you to be to attract good relationships, or they're not a good influence to you to attract good men in relationships?
I definitely have what you would call hoe friends, but here's the thing. Nobody can really like influence me. You can be a hoe
Mhm.
all you want and be
Mhm.
all up in these guys' face if we're out and all this. But me, if I don't want to do that, I'm not going to do that. Like, I used to be friends with a group of girls that they were just like that. They were 100% what you would call groupies. And they would want to be in a guy's face all the time, live on Instagram every single day, wanting to go to parties all the time. And even then, I was just like, that's not me. Like, I love you girls. I love being around you girls. Like, we're friends, but you guys could be doing that. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want to do like that. Doesn't, attract my interest. But it did get to the point where I was like, I
Yeah, you
can't
had
do
a-
this anymore.
you had a
I'm
negative
outgrowing
effect.
you guys. Like,
Yeah.
we can't even be
Yeah.
friends
But you had a
anymore.
negative effect, right?
It just
Not
kind
even a
of be
negative
like
effect, it just
high
gets old.
schoolish, like
It
you
just
know,
gets
just like
old.
when men go out and like I know some my guy friends or
I agree.
whatever
I agree.
will say the same thing. They be like, "Dude, this is like some high school stuff. Like we're going over here chasing girls, all this other stuff. Like we need to grow up.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
to elevate
true.
and do something
Mhm.
like different."
But would it-
like,
I want to ask you this because if a woman was choosing to be with friends that we consider to be whole friends,
Mhm.
do you think, in your opinion, I already know what the men are going to say, but in your opinion, would you consider that a red flag if she's choosing to stay in that circle?
yeah,
because
because it's something that she misses and what she like,
Yeah.
and then she might want to.
she's
Yeah.
still grieving
Do
it,
it.
so she's
Mhm.
not through it. Like, honestly, you think about it, you stay in that same environment, you don't grow forward, you don't get past the ooh, we not hoeing anymore, or ooh, girl, like you're not getting to the point of where you're like, oh, I'd rather have a drink at home and be chilling, watching TV, or listening to some good music, or vibing with people who really connect with me. Because, like, my old self, it was like, yeah, girl, we going out, and now just like, I'm a mama, I got a partner, I kind of just want to relax anyway. I'm tired. Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Well-
have capacity to push yourself to always get dressed up, always go out if you're doing the real work at home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And whether that be you going to work and cleaning the house and taking care of everything, or you just taking care of the house and taking care of all the kids and
Yeah.
making sure your partner has what they need. Like, it's such an on and off concept. It's like,
Mhm.
it depends on who you working
Yeah.
with and what they've been through and what they worked on.
Yeah, I think there's an old saying that you are the 5 closest friends that you hang out the most time with.
That part.
And I think for men, I think it's a red flag for us that if you're dating a woman long term and seriously, but she chooses to surround herself with women who have very promiscuous behavior, I think deep down that she wants to be part of that environment.
Yeah.
But and yeah, I think something for a lot of guys, that's all you spend your time with, and you want to be with. Even though you're telling me you want a relationship, you're telling me you want to be a wife, but your behavior shows me that you still want to act like a hoe. Because if you wanted to be a wife, you wouldn't be choosing friends like that.
Yeah.
And it goes for same thing for men. I think as men, it's the same thing with both ways. Like, if you want to be a strong man, don't hang around the guys that just want to live the bachelor lifestyle and want to party and chase women every weekend and go to the club.
Yeah.
With me, like I even just say like I don't even like. I had to cut. I don't really care for friends. Like I really don't care. Like so, it doesn't matter. Like I had friends that will try to be like, oh, I can't be around you no more because you always want to be around your dude, or your dude older, you listen too much what they say or something like that because of me being in a relationship. And I'm like, okay, if you don't respect me in my relationship, then you don't respect me as a friend. That means you don't have to be my friend. And I don't really care because they want, sometimes some friends may be envious of you in your relationship because they're like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm single and I can't even sit
And
there
I
have
want what you want.
a valued man
They're
walk
trying
up
to
to me.
sabotage.
Like, because I had some I
Yeah.
guess you could say whole friends that be like, they always up in the dude's face and they be like, oh, and they see how these dudes like treat me. Like I go on, I'm single, but I still get treated like a lady, like a queen. I don't get treated like I'm some tramp walking around because I still carry myself so good. Even if I'm going out, I don't go be sloppy drunk. I don't sit there like I still look you like woo woo, probably hype you up. That's about it. Other than that, like I'm like very considerate. Like I'm just. That's what it is. It's the way you hold yourself because some women just feel like they had to do that. They had to do the most because that's, but then they just want them for sex and that's it. And then they get mad. They be like, they're like, dang.
And also, I just want to ask you, ladies, those types of friends that you consider whole friends, do they have a very negative, pessimistic view against men?
Yeah.
And when you finally find a good thing, they always try to sabotage that, whether directly or indirectly.
No, actually, in my personal experience, I feel like those are the girls that really, they're seeking validation so bad because they want it. Like they want the love from a man. And obviously they're not going about it the wrong way. But even when it comes into play, like sleeping with a bunch of men and being with different men, it's because literally like they're chasing after something. They're trying to fill a void within themselves. But at the end of the day, it's an iffy situation. Like me personally, I'm someone that really just loves people for them. So you could be my friend because I love you so much, but you're a hoe. Okay, that's you. But that doesn't mean you should be, like you guys say, participating in the hotivities and going out with them.
He's like, I love you. I'm hoping for the best, and you're gonna get through, okay? But I'm not gonna go out with you. I'm not gonna go out with you tonight.
Exactly.
I was like, I don't want to be next to the dude. I don't want to be on that. Like, because at the end of the day, that's just too much. You got all different energy, like and then you got to set your boundaries, like.
Because for me, one of the biggest qualities you guys mentioned in a man is accountability. And I like to have accountability on my woman. So if I see a woman that chooses to stand by her values, just stand up with her friends, even though her friends might dislike her, like even though she has whole friends, because like, look, I have values, I have things what I want to achieve for my life, and if you don't, you don't bring value to my life that way. So I'm willing to stand by what I believe in, even if that might cost me the relationship. For me, that's a powerful. That's for me shows accountability. Like
that's
you,
completely understandable.
like you make your decisions and you stand by your value systems. And you don't let people influence you to make bad decisions because you believe in your values. And I think that's important to a relationship. So when I see a woman that has friends that grew up and they act that way, but she chooses, look, I love you guys, but I can't be around with you guys. That's not, I can trust that person because you don't let people influence the society influence you. So I know when we have a relationship.
And that's just a very nurturing type of person anyways with all my friends. So like even like I got all different personalities. I got friends that are freaking nurses and stuff like that. And I got, I got my older friends that just sit around, they have a family and everything, and I come around to do brunch or we go out and like, to the wine or something like that. But I'm very kind of old school too as well. I like a 90s type of love. So sometimes I like to do activities like that, like go like to a museum and stuff like that.
Well, speaking about holism, shout out to everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much for you guys watching. I see you, Tim M on the live chat, Gas Mask, Lord Punisher. Good to see you guys as always. Prime VA 757. Hey, good to see you, Jason Washington. Good to see you guys, Desmond Scott. I appreciate you guys on the live chat. BL17. Thank you so much. Get those likes up. And of course, if you're watching this from IG, definitely come over to YouTube. I appreciate you guys watching from IG. And don't forget, if you want to jump on, be part of the pod, become a supporting member of the locals. The link is below in the description. And if you want to share your voice and opinions, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. To donate to the channel, drop it through a super chat. But I want to transition into something that it's always a hot topic online is promiscuity. It's something that's normal now today in Western society. Kids are having sex earlier than ever before in any generation. All right. So, but what do you think? What do you guys think about that? There's a lot of women out there that would say that promiscuity is empowering. It's building confidence. It's about building the value of empowerment of a woman. Go out there and explore your sexuality. But there's a lot of people saying, and especially from the men's perspective, promiscuity is not something that's gonna. It's not only a value system, but it's not a behavior that's conducive, that's good to building a relationship. Because if you're gonna be in a committed monogamous relationship, you're not gonna have a mindset that you want to sleep with other people. No. But I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people choose to be promiscuous. I know there can be a lot of emotional traumas from the emotional trauma reasons, but overall, we live in a society today that's okay. It's okay for women to sleep around, and a lot of women believe that they could be a quote unquote hoe and engage in that behavior, but they still expect a good masculine man to come and take care of them and wipe them up when they're done with their whole phase. Okay, because I heard women say that on this panel. When I'm done my whole phase, I'll be ready to be a wife. Like,
I've heard about
I-
Men have done that too, though. I feel like men are hoes as well.
They're older, they're way more like rotation,
everybody,
right?
you
No,
know.
no, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
also men as well. I agree. There's a lot of guys out there sleeping around. But then when they're done, they think that they're going to be loyal to one woman, and I think it's a valid system. That's not going to be good for both men and women. I agree. All right.
Yeah, because it makes sense. At the end of the day, like as a woman, you're not gonna want to be with a man that had their whole phase and literally has slept with like 50 women, and everyone has a story about him. It's like, yeah, vice versa. A guy is not gonna be want to be with a girl like that, and a girl's not gonna want to be with a guy like that.
I don't know. So one of my recent relationships, I mean, I feel like people who've gone to college, you for sure had a whole phase, you know, all 4 years, or if you went to medical school, all 10 years. But I think just as the person that I am, I don't judge people on their body count. I just haven't. Like, honestly, if it's back there, it's back there. You know, wherever your dead bodies are buried, let them stay buried back there. Just don't bring it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't carry that into here, you know, because I think it's like baggage.
It's sabotage too.
Right. You know, and
Mhm.
one of the problems that I had with my recent relationship was I'm a check-in person. Hey, are you still trying to chase tail? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you over that or are you not? I mean, to be
That
honest,
is true.
we as human beings,
Yeah.
just in general, we all evolve.
Right.
You know, if you're still acting like you're 20
Mhm.
in your 40s, there's issues happening.
Yeah.
There's something that stunted your growth.
Mhm.
You know, but I don't expect your 20-year-old behavior to carry over when you're 40.
Right.
You know, I expect growth no matter what. You know, so that's why I don't want to judge somebody if you've had 150 people. I don't know. I would never ask the number. I don't ask the number, hey, how many have you had? You know, because to be honest, it shouldn't matter how much I've had. Just know that that's whatever happened back there is back there. It's handled.
Yeah.
And it's not coming over here. And this is what I'm ready for. But, you know, I know not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah.
Right.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think from the perspective from men, what we're looking for, and promiscuity and your history, your dating history, your sexual history, is something men often think about. It's a priority on our list if we're gonna commit to one woman and make her a wife.
Yeah, it's basically like you don't want somebody that everybody has already had time with.
Well, there's a biological reason for that is because one of the things that we care about is paternity. So if we're gonna commit to our children, I want to make sure that's mine.
Yeah.
So if I'm sleeping with a woman that has a low body count, I know for sure it's mine. But to have a woman that has a history of sleeping multiple men in the last couple of months, then how do I really know it's my child? And there's a lot of men out there. I don't know if you guys see those articles online that they raise their children, provide, protect their children, and find out later.
Lord, yes, it's so
sad.
devastating.
Find out
It's
later.
honestly really
Yeah.
devastating.
But at the
for
same
man.
time, they wifed up a promiscuous woman. So
Yeah.
the accountability, you got to look at that from both the men's perspective. But is anybody here? Is anybody here for the pro movement? Agrees with the whole phase that women who say that they want to go through? You guys
I never
who
really
here
understood.
agrees with that?
No.
I never really understood it on both sides for men and
Yeah.
women. Honestly, I feel like yes, you should have your own idea of what experience is, but I feel like also too that learning process of what experience would be from like child, like you know, because you're saying kids are now more promiscuous than
Yeah.
they ever have been. So like that teaching from home first, that teaching and knowledge of what comes with having sex, babies.
Yeah.
Like HIV, STDs,
Yeah, exactly.
infections, you know, and having that conversation and knowledge behind it makes you more aware of what you're doing with your body, because your body is ultimately the temple, right?
Yeah.
So if you're feeding your body all these different bodily fluids from everybody else, and it's a constant thing, you got to remember, as women, we have our pH. You know what I mean?
Men
That
has
affects-
pH too. Don't
Well,
forget
I mean,
that.
but like in the sense
PhD.
of having
Yes.
babies, in the sense of having periods, and sense
and a lot of men
carrying.
don't know about that though. They don't know they have it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, like the miseducation behind sex and the anatomy
there's
and
a
all
lot.
of that is really large, and it's really despairing to see, because it's like it's sad to see a child not knowing that, hey, I could have protected myself and not even gotten involved in the first place,
Yeah.
or not even knowing the option, because you think about that peer pressure. Where's that other person who peer pressured this person into thinking that it was okay, got it from?
Okay.
Or things like that. Like, I don't know. I think it's just so much that comes with being so physically available to other people that people don't realize, because that's also a spiritual thing. Like, once you have sex with somebody, people don't realize you're locking spirits. Literally, your body is adjusting to what this other person is doing to you, and vice versa.
Yeah. So
Sometimes.
the body count. I mean, I know when I ask you ladies, I know that's we were talking about the standards of good masculine men. I think for masculine men, I think it's I think for me personally, it's more about the value system. That's if I'm gonna choose this woman that has history of sleeping with multiple men, the thing for me is what I consider is risky is I'm choosing to be with the woman that has low standards, and she has ineffective she has very bad decision making when it comes to men. And I think that's something that I will have to really think about if I'm really going to make this my wife. Why would I choose a woman that not only has low standards, low self-respect, and she doesn't have for some reason she has problems deciding and choosing bad quality people to come into her life. And this is going to be the woman that's going to raise my daughter, and I would have trouble. Like, is she going to raise my daughter with the same value system the way she did, or maybe not? I would rather be with a woman that has a good high standards, good values, knows how to choose good quality men to allow into her wife, because I'm not going to be around all the time. So I need to trust her decision-making skills, that she's just not going to allow any guy that's going to give her flowers or, say something to her, that she's just going to allow him to come into your life. So I understand there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of traumatic reasons why women do it.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm just thinking about the relationship itself and just thinking about it in a very rational way, I really have to look at her decision-making skills and her personal standards, because that's going to be a reflection on me. And that's also going to be a reflection of how I want to raise my daughters, because I want both of us to be example of how we raise our kids. I'm going to be example for my sons. I want her to be example of my daughter. If I choose to go with a very promiscuous woman, is that the type of mother that I would want to be the example for my daughter?
No.
I don't want my daughter to be promiscuous. I want my daughter to find a good man. I don't want my daughter to put herself on compromising positions and invite bad men or bad diseases. I want my daughter to have a good life. So I would want a partner that will teach her and exemplify that. So for me, it's more value. I mean, the history, I get it. I know. I mean, but the thing is, you never know. Like, you're never gonna know how. But there are certain things. There are certain traits. There are certain signals that you can see of a woman. But and my biggest thing for me is I'm very big on commitment.
Yeah.
Women who have had multiple men, they're not used to staying in one solid relationship. Usually they've been conditioned in a way when things go bad when one man, or when the relationship gets rocky, she just leaves to find another man.
Yeah. Or they just cheat.
Or they cheat.
I won't tell you.
She's used to that.
Mhm.
So my issue is she's built a habit of that. So if we go in a relationship with her, how am I going to be confident enough that I'm not just going to be the number 10, number 15 in her, a man in her life? Is she really committed to me? Because I got to look at the facts. The facts is she's been with all these men and she's left them to keep bouncing around. So how do I really know that am I just the next guy, or am I going to be the last guy? How do I know that? I don't know. So that's one of the risks that you have to take. And I think that's things that men consider. And that's why a lot of men, they often avoid women if they do find out, they know that she has a history.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, anybody? Oh.
I feel like we all have come to an understanding on this topic.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
It is
completely.
understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the same thing. Like I said, I would want from a guy. I want to know. Like, I always ask questions. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. If someone asks me on the day, I still ask a whole bunch of questions. Like, you got a kid?
Right.
Yes.
Are you still with your baby mama?
Right.
This and that, because just in case, if it does lead on to something serious, then I would want to know too. Like, are you healthy? All this other stuff.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys,
I feel like it goes. Yeah. But talking, communication, like having deep conversations is a really good sign of intimacy. I feel like when a man waits and just like will just always talk with you, vibe with you, and then you guys probably have sex like maybe later down the line. Like I feel like that's like way more because it's showing that like I'm not here for the sex. I'm here to really get to, pick your brain and get to know you really and then see. So I don't know. I think it's just
Even back to the whole like promiscuity thing, I feel like it's so pushed out there nowadays that the sexual education has plummeted to the floor. Like people are not having protected sex and they're it's okay. And they're not using a condom and then they think that it's okay to not even share like recent STI results or anything like that. Like, why can't you at least be responsible, like at least with your body in some way? Because it's not even just yours. You could have slept with a person before that. They gave you something you don't even know. And then now you're bringing it to this person. And it's just this, like, people need to take their sexual health a lot more serious because they don't.
There's just so many risks, right?
So many risks.
And for me, as Western society has convinced, because I do believe when it comes to sex, it's a beautiful thing. That's how we procreate. That's how we build up sexual and intimacy with our partner. But the purpose of sex for me is creating a family and having a beautiful children, right? Creating a legacy. But for some reason, modern society has convinced you guys that that's not the purpose of sex. Sex is just fun.
Yes,
sex is just something.
I hate that. I hate it so much.
But the thing is, when you have sex, and you guys all know this, sex. What are the consequences of sex? Is having a kid. And when you have children, that comes with responsibility. So for me, it does not make sense when I hear people, I want a good relationship, and you want a good man, but you engage in behavior that doesn't build you for the responsibilities of what happens after sex if you do get pregnant.
Yeah, so, you don't want to be with the man that you just been having sex with, and then or that person don't want to be with you, and now you guys got all these split parenting. You guys don't have a whole good foundation. Now you got drama because you guys was just having sex for fun, not for
the purpose of creating a family.
Creating a family. Because if your purpose
if your purpose is creating a family, of course we all want sex, both men and women. I'm not gonna lie, like we want sex, and I think men we think about sex a lot more than women. But if the purpose of creating a family, I want to make sure if I'm gonna have sex with this person that we have the qualities and the standards and the values that's going to be ready when we do have children, if that comes, right? So I think we do it backwards today is we have sex, and I see this from both men and women, that we have sex first without no conversation or vetting process and make sure that they have the qualities to be a parent. But then once the baby comes, then we complain why they're a shitty woman or a shitty father or a shitty wife. Well, that's your fault because you chose to have sex with somebody that had no qualities, that was ready to be in a long-term relationship to be a father and to a wife.
So I was ready to be a parent.
I feel attacked.
I don't want to like make it seem hard for like the people that did fall into that because life happens. You never know who you run into. You might really did have that strong relationship.
We're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're all human, so we all like maybe. But I'm just saying, like for like leaning on now, a lot of people do just have sex just for fun, and then they be having babies. Like some of my people I went to school with had babies straight when they got out of high school.
You know what triggers me a lot?
Then complain about not going out. Like I can't even go out because I have this baby. Like you can't. That's real. And they get mad at everybody else, and then end up being alone because you don't have friends now because you're mad at your decision.
I just want to talk on that because first off, I actually was that person. Because right after high school, I did get pregnant. But what was cool about it is that I grew up real fast. And
you do mature.
And what was cool about it is that I learned to be more accountable faster than my own friends who didn't have kids. I had to have integrity. I had to choose a little bit better on my time spent. So it's like this yin and yang of experiences. Like, yes, I was like, oh darn, I don't get to hang out with my friends anymore, but damn, I have to grow up real fast. Now I have to be a grown ass woman at the age of 19.
You mature, but you're more mature because like some women, they seem like, okay, so they do it, they have the baby, and then they complain about it, but then they don't have like
Yeah,
you said, they
that's
don't
huge.
grow as being mature like that. Like some
Mhm.
they do
Stay the
opposite,
same.
stay the
Yeah.
same.
You're always dropping the
They
baby
just
off
stay
with
the-
somebody else.
Dropping off the
Yes,
baby off to
like-
the auntie's house or
Yeah.
somebody.
And then you be
it's
wondering, like, where your baby at?
I literally actually just had a
outside.
client today that was ranting about that to me. Basically talking about her own sister, that she has twins and that she basically just always is dropping them off with
Oh, no,
somebody.
not
Like
twins.
always is dropping them
Not
off. The
the
grandma, the
twins.
auntie, always dropping them off. And she was basically getting irritated. She's like, you're like in your 30s. Like, when are you going to grow up and sit
Is
here
she
and
really-
actually be a mother? Like,
the
I know
question
it's
is,
hard,
do they
but
really want to do the mothering part? Because you have to think about that. Like when it comes to promiscuity and stuff like that, when you're choosing somebody, you like you said, you're vetting them. So you're obviously figuring out what they really want and what they don't. Some people will lie straight to your face and tell you, I want to be married, I want to have kids, and then they just really want to get in your panties or get your money or whatever accolade they can get from it. And that's what's kind of scary nowadays. Like you don't know what people are genuinely going for. You're looking at it from a point of view, this is what I desire, this is what I'm manifesting, and I want to talk to this person because, we related, we're in common in these certain areas. But then we have that conversation of, I want to have kids, and the person's like in their head, I don't know kids, you know what I mean? But they're gonna lie and say, well, I want to keep this going because I want to see where it can go.
Exactly.
And then it becomes this whole thing of lies and lies and lies, and you kind of just building on that, and it causes more of an insecurity. Because then let's say when that person gets pregnant and then they have the baby, like you said, I'm still acting the same way I acted before I had a kid. I'm still wanting to drop the baby off and go party. I'm still wanting to grasp that old me, instead of leaning into this new version of myself where I have this responsibility. I'm taking accountability for creating the responsibility. I love this person with my whole heart. And I feel like a lot of people miss out on that because of the fact that it wasn't intentional.
Okay.
It was more of, I'm doing this to self-satisfy somebody else and looking good. And it's kind of narcissistic, right? Because at the end of the day, you're doing it with not the best intention. You're doing it with ill will, and you're not showing up either. Like, that kid will feel it. So when you're saying that I want a kid and then you don't show up for the kid, you're not doing nothing for them, you're dropping them off all the time, they're not going to feel that love, even if you're buying whatever they want or taking them to their favorite place on earth. The time is spent with you is what matters most for a kid. Like,
And it will literally affect their entire life.
Exactly.
Whether people want to look at it that way or not, it shapes them and it affects them. Like, the love really starts at the parents.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, all you ladies have no problem with a man having a standard that he doesn't want to date a promiscuous woman.
Yeah, it's completely
that's fine.
understandable.
Understandable?
Yeah, because I don't want a promiscuous
I will
man.
man.
Yeah. I don't want you thinking that you should be slanging your thing everywhere you want, and
Always
coming
posting
home.
thirst traps,
Yeah.
shirtless pictures.
And then having multiple kids on the side while I'm still raising this one, and then you can't pay for nothing. Like, that's more infuriating
It's like,
than anything.
Like
Like,
mom of the year. No.
I mean, and I'm saying, like, you think about it, that's what creates that generational curse of mom's left at home with the kid, dad's doing whatever he wants to do, and he's working, paying the bills, but he's not showing up. And that's not fair either, Like, I feel like it goes both ways. Because if I'm working and I'm a mama and I'm still showing up, like, that's what's most important to me, not, showing up for somebody else. That's a lot of work.
All right. So, definitely see you, Power Fest. Hey, good to see you, Power Fest, on the live chat. Thank you so much. But let's keep that live chat active. If you have any questions, anything you want to ask, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to respond to you guys. I want to move on to something Anissa said. I know Nissa's a little bit quiet lately. I want to give her some more airtime. I would definitely would love to hear what she has to say. But Anissa, you were talking about men don't want combative women. Can you expand on that?
Just someone who is always argumentative, even with modesty, or like, oh, why can't I do this? Like, they just can't, like you were saying, submissive, but not someone who just lays down and just does whatever you say. But they don't want someone who always has to have an argument about everything in that sense.
Especially when it comes to his standards.
Yeah.
I tell you not to go to the club. Well, why not? I don't want to fight about why you want to go to the club.
Yeah.
If it's a standard, right?
If you trust him, you should trust his decision process.
Right.
If you fully love this man and you respect him.
Yeah, it's definitely all about respect at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question. So, because that's the thing. I think it goes two ways. I think if you want your woman to submit and to be non-combative, I think that's the responsibility to you as a man is to be a leader and be able to set the example. I think a lot of times, because I do want to be fair to both men and women, but I think a lot of times men would complain about why their woman is argumentative, but at the same time, you do dumb shit that will cause her to get mad or go against the relationship.
Or the double standard. It's
All right,
like,
so-
well, I'm gonna sit here and argue because you're doing the exact thing
Yeah,
that you
exactly. So
tell me
I
not
agree.
to do.
So I want to be fair. I want to be fair.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. But I think if you meet the topic, a good masculine man, he's shown behavior and consistency to show you that he has your best interest. He's never shown you any kind of behavior, any evidence to go against that he wants to do anything to harm you or the relationship. So you fully trust him, right? So my thing is, if you fully trust him, man, and he's proven to you, and he works hard every single day to earn that trust, because I do believe submission is not something that's given, right?
Yeah.
It's something that
Yes,
has to be earned,
definitely.
has to be earned, right?
Yeah.
And I do believe that if you do meet that type of man, and you trust his leadership, if he tells you to do something, even if you disagree with it, but I think if you know he's a good man and he has your best interest and you trust him, I think you would be able to, all right, even though I disagree, but I trust him. And he hasn't shown me otherwise any kind of bad decision-making skills that he's trying to harm me or the relationship. So even I won't fight him on this. I'll cooperate and submit.
I agree.
But there's a lot of men out there who will say that a lot of modern women, when they want to lead you or they want to decide something, they're always argumentative. They're always fighting back. What do you guys think about that?
A lot of those
think
men
it-
are men who
yeah.
do these things, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
The weak men, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And also too, like it goes back to how you're raised. If you're raised with a woman who's like, I play both roles, the man and the woman, it's kind of hard for them to break through that foundation, because it's like, we come up from a foundation and then you go into a relationship building your own foundation. And a lot of people don't have that question of, what would my foundation look like? It's kind of like, I'm just living however I want to live, instead of considering the other person's first off feelings, their mindset, the connection you built together. Like with my partner, I had to learn the hard way. I'm not gonna lie, because I did grow up with a mother who was like, I'm doing both, and she didn't want to. That wasn't her ideal, and for me, that's not my ideal either. But I had to learn to unlearn that cycle of trauma, pretty much, because it's trauma. It's a post-traumatic trauma thing that you go through. Learning that, like, I don't have to be argumentative. I don't have to, disrespect him to get my point across.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if he's here for the right reasons, he's going to show me he's here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And so, like, in learning the hard way, he proved me right. And he proved me wrong. He proved me wrong. And I was like, wow, okay. And it took me to be like, let me step back and listen to what you have to say, because it's not fair to you. And dealing with past relationships that were like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you don't do what you want to do is like what kind of broke the straw on the camel's back before getting into that relationship.
Okay.
Because your mindset was stuck on, this guy's going to treat me badly. He's going to disrespect me. He's going to turn around, start dating other women. Oh my God, he's on Instagram. Social media is a whole thing where it's like, it puts us in all these bad predicaments of, you can catch somebody in the DM. You can go through to the messages now. Oh, there's loyalty tests. And we're checking if you're really accountable for what you say you are. And you see people like watching loyalty tests. You see people who are married for like 20, 30 years, and they're still cheating years and years down the line. And the wife doesn't find out until like 2024.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all about accountability, though. At the end of it, like, women also need to take accountability that if they did, go through a bad relationship that left a really bad taste in their mouth, instead of bringing that on to the next person and automatically treating them bad or not even want to hear nothing they say and not trusting them, how about you work on yourself also? Because you don't want a guy bringing that to you. So you also need to work on yourself, even though it's hard, it has to be done.
Right.
Is anybody here that used to go through a independent, I don't need a man phase?
Yeah. I barely got out of that. Like, within the past
after that, I
month,
was
maybe.
like, right. I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like doing this. It gets lonely. It's like, it feels lonely because you're just like.
So my question to you is, when you went through that phase, and when a man came into your life and tried to lead you and protect and provide you, did you push back?
So in my situation, I was in a very, very terrible abusive relationship for 4 years that started when I had barely turned 15 and didn't end until last year when I was 18. And that is what really made it like hard for me and really made me go in my like independent, like I don't need a man today. It's because I honestly didn't want anything to do with one. You know, I was literally so scarred and so traumatized that I felt, okay, all of you are the same and I know all of your intentions at the end of the day and you're all going to treat me bad and, you know, do all this and that. And it took, somebody that actually was a good man coming into my life, you know, and giving a good example and showing that, hey, there is actually good people out there that do want to look out for you and take care of you and things like that. And then that's where I had to take accountability and be like, I need to work on myself. Like I need to unlearn these bad behaviors, because even still to this day, it has like a really big effect on me in the sense that we could be even like, let's say I see another couple and they're like super open with each other, like having a certain conversation or anything like, I literally be like, oh my God, like how are they talking about that like with each other? And then I have to really look and be like, that's healthy. Like they should be doing that. Like what the hell? Like she should not be scared to, you know, say something like that, or, you know, I still have this mindset till this day, like that I have to shut up about certain things, or that, you know, something's going to be the outcome of whatever. And that's why I'm saying I have to unlearn that. That's not healthy. That's not how you should be thinking. That's not what should be going on. But I've came a long way, and go to your therapy, guys. Go to your therapy, okay? Because it really works.
I definitely feel like I surround myself with a lot of good people, and I'd like to think I'm a good person. And the people that I do surround myself, they are in what I would consider a very healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And I kind of have the same experience as like super outer body, where I'm looking at everyone and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're not even worried about like what's on your guy's phone.
Right.
He's not cheating on you. You guys are actually just enjoying each other's company. That's crazy. He's actually speaking to you very nicely. What's that like? Like, you know, just things like that. And I wish I could experience that, but I also feel like I don't even know where I would start on how to allow someone to like treat me that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, low-key always starts with the guy. It always does. Whether people want to look at it or not, it always starts with the guy, you know?
Do you guys like a man providing and protecting for you? Taking care of you?
Yes,
Of course.
I love that.
Why do you feel like a lot of women, especially the independent women, that when a man comes into the wants to provide a protector, they always say, well, I don't want him to fully provide or protect me. I want to be able to get my own bag and not trust him, because how do I know he's going to provide or protect me? He might leave me and then I don't have anything else.
I mean, that's totally understandable, though, because that's how my mom raised me, in the sense that you never want to fully depend on somebody, because you don't want them to be able to have the opportunity to kick you to the curb and you literally don't have anything.
Yeah.
And
So-
let's say something might happen, like maybe he didn't even put all his, like, it was like, you know, maybe he didn't have time to like share that money with you, and then like he died.
Yeah.
And then
You
you're
have
like-
nothing.
and you
Yeah,
have
you
nothing.
literally
Like
have
it could be
nothing.
any other time. Like, you know, you always gotta have a game plan, because you know you always gotta look out for yourself at the end of the day, regardless if you with your partner or not.
I
You
think
should.
though, if you
As
had a
in-
good man, he'd look out for you.
He will look
Yes.
out for you
He would
though.
make sure
He's-
something
he
is
gonna make
planned
sure-
out.
If I really will
Yeah.
feel like I'm already
Something-
getting taken care of, and like, you know, he is really like taking care of me, then I don't feel like I don't think I would need to sit there feel like I don't trust him at all.
I
So,
think
I don't think
it's
it.
more of
I think
like
it depends on how
a
that
safety
person.
net.
Yeah, like, you know, it's just a safety thing. Like, you know, you could say that for a rainy day. It could be for both of y'all. Like, let's say like something happens to him at his job. Like, hey, I got his back. We got some of the savings that I made for me baking my cookies and selling
Yeah.
them. Like, you know, so it's like supporting, because you know you're the woman's like the rib to, you know, the man's like, but like you're still there. You're like one, but you also supporting. You're supposed to still support. So I feel like it's not all typically. I feel like it's for yourself. It could be just for anything, like for rainy day, for y'all too.
Cece,
Yeah.
So
this is a personal question, but if
Okay.
you don't mind, because you said that your mom taught you not to depend on a man, right?
No, not necessarily to
You
not
know.
depend on a man, but in general, always have your own thing going on because you don't want to give anybody the opportunity to kick you to the curb and you don't have anything and you're struggling, whether that's because you started living with your best friend, and then one day she's literally like, get the hell out. Like,
Oh, okay.
and then you're
Yeah.
like, shoot, I was only giving you like $300 in rent and now I'm gonna have to literally go out and I don't even have this. It's like, have your own thing
Oh, okay.
going on
So
sincerely.
when it comes to friends, she taught you to be self-reliant, right? Just be able to stand on your own two feet. But
Self-reliant in general, yeah.
In general, but
because
what I'm-
that's how
but-
my mom was.
I'm talking a lot more. I'm talking specifically to relationships, right?
Relationships, yeah.
Did she teach you that when it comes to relationships with a man, is it okay to depend on him?
Yeah, it is okay to depend on them, but like I said, have your own thing going on because you just, like she even said, even if they like died or something, like
Yeah,
you never know. You never know.
I would still depend. Like I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna use I'm gonna kick back and let you take care of me. But then,
Yeah,
if
and
something
also too,
happens,
even with like
you know.
bad relationships, what really sucks is there's a lot of women out there that stay in these bad relationships because they will literally have nothing if they leave this
Yeah.
relationship. They
I
literally
seen
do
friends-
depend on that man for
Yeah, yeah.
everything.
like literally be
Okay.
like homeless, and
Yeah.
then their kid is
Mhm.
out there, and you're like,
Exactly.
what?
What happened? Yeah.
What happened?
And then,
You know.
and then just another question, but if you don't mind me asking, is your mom still married, or is she a single mom, or?
No, she's not a single mom. My parents were together all my growing
your whole
up.
life,
I
yeah.
always was in a 2-parent household.
Oh,
yes.
okay. No worries. No, no. The reason why I asked that because that's always a conversation. When I hear from a lot of modern women that would say, "Don't depend on a man," but I think a lot of this society today has convinced us to go into a relationship with an independent mentality. Because I think relationships is about interdependence, which means we depend on one another. Because that's what relationships are, right? It's trust, built on trust. That I trust you, that I depend on you, that you're gonna fulfill your role, and I'm gonna, and vice versa. And I think when you ask most women, what do you want in a man? Can we all agree that you guys all want a man that can fully provide and protect you, and he loves doing that? He believes that that's his duty, that's his honor as your husband, as the father of your kids. Would you agree that you will love that man, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's always okay, to be able to depend on him. You should be able to depend on your man. If you're with a man or even entertaining him, you should be able to depend on him. But like I said, you just always need to have your own thing like kind of going on at the end of the day, whether it's having your own stream of income, like that doesn't affect your relationship in any way or how you depend on this man or the way he provides for you. But
I kind of disagree because I think that men and women, can we all agree that we look for different things in a relationship? And I think what you want from men is a man that can financially provide for you and give you security for you and your children, right? But the thing is, and I think a lot of times, if you don't choose the right man with a good, strong vetting process to make sure that he has strong values and qualities, then you end up picking men who treat you differently. And then that's why a lot of women would say, "Oh, I don't want to go with the man that might leave me later on." But the thing is, if you choose and vet the man correctly, then you don't have that problem. But if you don't choose correctly and vet properly, then you might have a problem with that, right? And I think for me is, if he's working to give you that life and then you're working because you want to provide that back just in case he leaves, my question is, you're doing the very things that doesn't, what men are not looking for. Men are looking for femininity, a feminine woman. So if he's working and you're trying to work because you're afraid that he might leave you, then I think it causes you to do things that doesn't really benefit him, and you're not fully concentrated to do the things that he's looking for.
yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of women are saying, well, I play both roles. I play the feminine role and I play the masculine role. You got to choose one, because masculine men are looking for feminine women. But I think if you're going into a relationship thinking he might leave, a lot of times you self-sabotage yourself,
Yeah.
and you're doing his role.
But how do you do that, like when you have your own business as a woman?
Yeah.
Like how do you let a man, like how you were saying,
Yeah.
financially provide? Like, do you stop or do you let him still do his thing and he'll let me still do my thing?
But let me ask you this: do you want kids?
Yeah.
How many kids do you want?
At least like 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Mhm.
So if he's working and you have your business, who's going to raise the kids?
Well, that's when I
The-
will take
the
sit back. I'll be like, okay.
Is that-
I feel like
I feel
my
like
business is
part-time
very
work,
like
you know?
flexible.
Huh?
I feel like my business personally is very flexible if I wanted to bring my child with me or not. But like I wouldn't also want to just put my business on hold. Like I love my business.
Yeah,
You can
like
also
I feel like
hire
you
people.
wouldn't
But-
want to be with
You could do
someone
home
that.
business.
Yeah, like if you
we
can't
can
even
join it together.
Yeah,
We
if
can
the
do it
man
together,
can't sit
like
there
a
and like
business
spend
together.
2 hours out of the day like with their children so that you can go do a photography session, then something's wrong on his end because
I mean, do you guys prefer a man to fully provide for you, that you can have your own bag, what if you have your own business, but he doesn't depend on you?
Right.
That's just additional income.
Yeah.
The primary income, like he got it,
oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Anything you bring to the table is just additional,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But he has the ability to provide and protect you. My thing is, and that's the conversation why I disagree. A lot of women, when you have children, that to raise children, and we have moms in here, it's a lot of responsibility. And how are you? And running a business is a lot of what? Responsibility.
Yeah, kids are
So-
24/7.
So what's more important?
Business.
What's more important when it comes to choosing? If you're so focused on your business and you have children, what's more important for a man is what's more important for us is I want make sure that my kids are taken care of. So, but if you have a business, then they have to really think about it. If she's really into her business, is she gonna prioritize her business first than our kids? It's something that we have to discuss,
Right.
because you can't run both businesses, because both run a business and raise a family, because it takes a lot of energy to do both.
Right.
So, but the thing is, if I already provide a secure financial solution, why are you so concentrated on making more money when I already got it like that?
I mean, what about when the kids are at school? I can't go like do a brow wax and
No, of course.
That's what I'm saying, like,
That's fine. But I'm saying is, for the first
The-
5 years, right? The first 5 years, you have to care for that child. And I think we understand, all of us here, that if the child doesn't receive good care in the first 5 years, that can make a difference between how that child turns out.
I think
So
we
for
just-
men, it's like, if I'm working, when I have conversation with masculine men, I like for me, I believe the man should always fully provide financial security, and that's our duty and that's our role. That's what I truly believe in. All I want to know, all I care about is making sure that my children are taken care of.
Mhm.
So when I'm at work, I don't have to worry about my household, because I know I got a woman that's holding it down for me.
Mm.
So the thing is, but if you bring the business to the table, it's something I have to think about. Do I want to be with a woman that not only does she has to raise my children, but she also has to run a business? And that's, for me, that's a lot to ask for a woman. And it also doesn't make sense for me when I already have the money to do that.
But it's
Right.
not even about the money. Like even for you, I know photography is like a huge passion of yours. And even what I do, I love doing it, not because of the money, but I love what I do. So it's just like, if you really, love and care for me, why are you going to try to kind of put a stop on what makes me happy? And it's not like I would ever prioritize my business over my children, but it's just like, yeah, you have to look at it. You can't completely like expect somebody to stop like doing what they love because they have other responsibilities in life. Like, it's all about balance at the end of the day, and children should always be the priority
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So it's like, I don't see kind of the point, of course, first 5 years, but to putting a stop to the relationship.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
to put a
I'm not
stop.
the
I'm not saying to put a stop to it. I agree that there is some compromise we can do, but I think for me, if you have a business, I would say, look, I already have the money to take care of you, but when we've raised our children for the first couple of years, can we just prioritize that
Mhm.
Yeah.
first, and then later on, if you want to do your business, continue on,
I would say, of course.
then we can do that.
Yeah. I think
But-
that's-
Oh, you put it down
but-
like that.
but here's the thing: there's a lot of women that will not give up their business, but they also want to have a family, have children, and they can't. I'm telling you, it's hard to do both.
Yeah.
I think because of the
Yeah.
society we live in now.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
we
it
live in a society where it's not realistically, we don't have a lot of men who are making enough to support a whole
That
family.
is true.
Yeah,
And
that's
all
a lot
rare.
of women are making more than men
Yeah.
nowadays.
And so I think that's
Out in
where-
Northern California.
I kind of think that's where it kind of binds a little bit, because it's like, yeah, we have our passion projects, we have our things that we want to do, but we also need that community, because you're not going to have your woman just at home all the time with the kids, like 24/7 for 5 years. Like, that can make her go crazy, especially if she started off having
Why
her own
why would you
business.
think that a woman will go crazy raising her children?
I have
I mean,
two
postpartum
kids
is
under
real.
3
I mean,
right
you're
now.
staying at home.
By myself,
There's some.
and
You
I
hear them stories.
I mean,
of kids.
But I'm
So
just
going-
saying, I stay
Psychos.
home 24/7.
Yeah,
with my
that like
kids,
no,
so
they're killing.
I have the understanding of
postpartum.
that. I love my kids to death,
Yeah.
but I also
They were- it's too
understand
much
that
for their
I
mental-
need my emotional
mental
clarity
space.
by
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
and
You
have
need-
that relief,
sometimes they
whether
need
going to get a
a
massage
break.
or getting my eyebrows waxed or
That's
something like that, or even having my business like that. I, as a doula, I can provide for other mothers who don't feel like they get the support
Yeah.
because it's a communal thing. When you have a village, you have more opportunity to build upon that, right? Compared to when you're just solely like that is the foundation. You and your partner are the start. Then you have your kids coming out, but then you also have people who are supposed to be helping, who are not supposed to, but you would love for that help. You would love to know that I have this community around me who can watch my kid for an hour if I have to go run and do something for the house. Or, if I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm feeling, because it's a psychological thing. Like, I feel like as a woman, coming from my own perspective of having a child, it is a big mind fuck. Like, honestly, like birthing out of your canal. And
When you had your children, were you with a man that could fully provide for you financially at that point?
no, and honestly, I'm still with my partner. He's still involved. He still does what he can, and I'm never going to shame him for that.
Yeah.
I also understand that we didn't plan well.
Yeah.
We didn't plan for us to have kids at the age
Yeah.
we were and not be where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
At the same time, I've also heard from a woman who's married, who's established, who has 2 kids and just got pregnant with her twins, and she's
Yeah.
older. She said, "You know what? I wish I had my kids when I was younger because the money will come."
Yeah.
Because she lost one of her twins, right?
Yeah.
So for women, what I remember is that we think of it as I'm on a time clock for when I can have
Yeah.
kids. Men, you guys think of it as financially. I'm on a time clock to make sure I can provide and do what I
Yeah.
feel encourages me to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you balance that out and saying, I understand maybe you do need a little break, you do need to go do a little something. And it's not going to drive you crazy so much. I guess it was the wrong way to say it. But, it does give a tug and pull, because when you're with the kids, you're not only caring about your own emotional, mental capacity, you're caring for the child, feeding them 24/7, changing the diapers, giving them
Yeah.
baths, making sure that they have inside and out everything that you could provide. And that holds a lot of weight. And then they show up and they try to do what they can with what they know, right? So if you don't know, like, hey, my wife is taking on a lot emotionally or mentally, it can take a toll on you because there's no real balance. There's no physical, there's no spiritual. There's just me doing all this stuff.
Mhm.
And yes, I love it. I love my family. I want to care for them. But at the end of the day, what do I have to say that, like, I cared for myself today? I took a shower, because like a lot of times, especially postpartum, those first 6 weeks, you're not going to be in a mindset where I'm thinking about, oh, I gotta clean the house. Oh, if your house is clean and you're a mother, I'm sorry, you're lying. You had to either had some help or you're killing yourself, literally.
Yeah.
Because you need to heal at least 60 days before you start getting up and moving. And in today's society, with the pressures of work, because we don't have it like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're getting up before that 6 weeks, and then you're carrying out.
So my question, I want to ask the ladies one more time. And if you had to choose a man that they can give you 100% financial security and you never have to work again, would you prefer to go with that man, or would you rather be with that man that you guys can split the bills, and then he depends on you for your financial bills, and you depend on him? What would you prefer?
I mean, personality.
I mean, yeah, of course you want to. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Personally, for me, the way I would look at it, okay, like what I look for in a man is I want him to have his own business, because then we could relate having businesses together,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
He understands like why I'm putting so many hours, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like if he could provide more, that would be cool. And if I still wanted to bring money, my money would be for us, like for fun, like
Yeah.
let's go on trips,
Yeah.
he could take care of the bills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as like choosing, yeah, I would still want to provide, but like for fun.
Okay. But the business is when you run your business, the priority will always be first the kids, than the business, not the
For
business,
sure.
the kids.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because I feel like people don't take like the well-being / pressure on a mother's back as serious as they really should, because even you saying like it can drive you crazy. No, like it really can drive you
Yeah.
crazy. Like you're out there, you're trying to provide for your family, you're doing your work. But when you have, we're one person at home, the mother, who doesn't have just one child, not two, they might have even twins, 2 babies. Then you have a 10-year-old, and then you have like a 14-year-old, etc. And you have to literally take all of that in. Then your babies are screaming, crying, but then your other kid wants you to help them do this, and your other kid's asking you to help them do this, or you need to take them there. And then your house is a mess. Like, you could really go crazy. Like when you get no time to yourself, and that's just a everyday back-to-back cycle. So I know even for my mom personally, she has twin girls that are babies, and just her 1 hour of getting out per day to go like do her little workout class thing, that like literally saves her every day. Like if she doesn't get that little hour to herself of just, exercise, she literally like will have a terrible day, and it's very overwhelming, and it's a lot. And I feel like people really don't take it that as serious as they should.
I understand there's modern times where women can have a side business, and then business doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out and work 8-9 hours. Everything can be done at home. That's a great thing about the internet, where you can still run a home business and do it at home, where you're still with your children, prioritize the children, and still make money. I think what a lot of the issues with men is, if I'm going to build a family, I want and a woman that has a business, if she is so focused on her business first, more than the relationship and the kids, I think that's where the issue can be.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think for most men, I do believe for most men, we're looking for feminine women. And if you're trying to, I don't think it's optimal for women to work and have children. It's really hard.
Yeah,
It is.
When you have conversations with single moms, have to do it both. I think we were built to complement each other. The man is supposed to provide and protect, and the woman is supposed to raise the children, because biologically we're built that way. And then if we partner like that, we complement each other. That dynamic can build a great, strong relationships. But I think when modern women today, is when they have to work and provide, it's really, really hard. And I guess that's my issue with it, because when women, I think society has convinced a lot of women, and this is just my pushback, to believe that a business is more important than raising children.
It's not.
And I think sometimes when we have these conversations, sometimes that's what it seems like. It that may not be your intention, but sometimes there's a lot of women who say, they find a good masculine man that can provide you financially. You don't have to worry about that. And also, he loves doing that. He was raised that way, right? These masculine men who are raised that way, they don't see it as a burden. They don't see it as a problem. Like, I want to do this because I think this is my job and my role as a man.
That's their purpose.
But a lot of women with the independent mentality would be like, well, I still want to work. My understanding is, how does that benefit the relationship? He already works. He can provide and protect you. All he wants for you is to take care of the kids. And also, he also wants to build an intimate relationship with you. And if you add on your own business, for me is how number one, how are you going to handle raising kids? That takes a lot of work. You guys just explained that already. But also, we still have to maintain a relationship, so that way we still can be together. So the thing is, if you add on entrepreneurship on top of that, and you're so focused on that, how are you going to give time and energy not only to your kids and also to the managing relationships? So that's why sometimes I do see, if you look at statistically, when men marry women who make a lot of money or have a very career-oriented mindset, and they prioritize their business more than their children, those relationships don't tend to last long, because you're putting your energy into the wrong thing. The energy should always be your relationship and your kids. And if the man can already provide that, then you don't have to worry about anything else, because the security is already secured. And when the man comes home, you build your relationship, and you raise the children. It's really hard. I think women have been convinced that they can do both, but when you talk to women who have done both, they're like, if you ask them deep down, would you prefer the different option? Like, I wouldn't want to do both.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
I prefer to stay home.
I'd rather just stay home.
And have
Yeah.
like a home-based business where
Yeah.
my kids can be involved in it, and I don't have to provide anything, not
Yeah.
vacations, nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, my money is like, if I
Additional.
have a business, it's not even profitable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not making anything. If I had one and I had a husband that was like financially taking care of everything, like, this is just playtime.
Right.
That would be
Yeah.
nice, but
That
that's
is
totally
a little hobby.
idealistic.
Yeah.
I would make it a little ideal hobby, like for
I mean,
like all
yeah.
mothers and stuff like that.
I
Like,
mean, I can
mothers come to our house. We're gonna
Yeah.
do a kid's little pop.
That's
Exactly.
not realistic.
It's not right now.
But it's not realistic nowadays.
Well,
right?
I say that only because I have mom friends and we try to get our kids together all the time. And it's always, oh, I'm running over here to do this because I have to take care of this for my kid. I'm running over here to do this for myself. I'm running over here to do this for my partner. So you naturally don't always have time to be like, girl, come over, let's have a cocktail and let the kids play.
Are they
Because-
single mothers or are they?
No, they're in relationships.
Okay.
They're in relationships. And
Because-
they want
That's
their
true.
relationship to work. So it's the order of priority,
Mhm.
right? Like my partner explained it to me. He was like, you know, you have your first priority, your second one, your third one, and you have to figure out which order you want to put that stuff in. So I can understand a man coming to a woman and she's saying, I'm prioritizing my business over the family. That's a screaming red flag, first off, because any woman who's just like, I'm first putting my business in the hands of only me, and I'm not getting that help, that outreach of community coming in saying, let me help you with your business. And then they're just putting all their focus into this one thing, and then your kids suffering, your household suffering. That's damaging.
And I'll give you a scenario why that can cause a lot of issues. Say if you have a business and you're trying to raise children, right? Can we all agree a man that financially can provide a financial security for you? We understand that's a busy man.
Mhm.
Like that guy's working at least 80 hours a week. If it's giving you financial security, those guys are working long hours in order to make sure they can provide for his family.
Okay.
So if he's working 80 hours a week, so he doesn't have a lot of time, especially when he comes home.
Yeah.
But then you're putting all your energy to raising the kids, right? Which takes a lot out of you as women. You finally put the kids away. Your husband comes home, and you finally have some free time to be with them. But then now, once the kids are taken care of, you have a business.
Right.
So now when the husband wants to initiate some kind of intimacy with you, whether it's emotional or physical, you have to tell him, look, I got to
I'm out
do
of
my
touch.
business. I got some orders to fill. And the guy's like, this is my only time to be with you right now.
Yeah.
And you have to run your business. That's why a lot of times it doesn't work out. That's why for men, we understand that. That's why when women say, oh, I have a business, I'm so focused on that, they're like, oh, that's gonna be a problem. But there are women out there that they just want to be a mother, and all they want to do is raise a good household. And that's why a lot of guys, they go with the woman that just wants to be a housewife or just wants to be a great mother and raise great children.
Would
And
you
I
say
do
that?
want my man.
would you say, like, from your perspective of talking with many different people who have
Yeah.
different opinions, would you say like age would play into that? Because like, let's just say I have my own business, I could talk to someone who's older than me, like way older than me, and they have their own business. So like, or do you see someone who's like probably around the same age or a little
How
bit
old? How older? What are
Let's
you
just
talking
say
about?
like 10 years older or 20 years older or whatever.
Like 30s or 40s?
Yeah. Like, do you still feel that same way? Or do you think it could work in a different way?
If you're looking like when I talk with if you're looking for a guy that just wants to start a family, those guys just want a good woman and wants a woman that can raise their children and they can build a great relationship together.
Right.
We see it very rationally. Like, why, if I'm already providing for you and taking care of you, why do I need you to put your energy into a business when I already have it like that? Because I already know they're busy. These guys that you guys want that can take care of it, they're busy all the time. So with the time they have when they get back home, they just want to spend it with their wife and their kids.
Right.
So the thing is, if I have two options, two women, both the same, one woman, when I come home, I'm going to get her full attention and time with her and with my children.
Mhm.
Another woman, same woman, but I have less time with her because she's also running a business on top of being a mother and raising children. If you were very logical, like, what would you pick? The woman that can give you the more what? The more time.
Yeah.
And so, and women, you want time from your man, and men, we want time from you as well. But the thing is, how are you going to do that if you're so focused on your business? So I do agree, it can work in the sense where it's not a priority. The priority is the relationship and the children. But I think a lot of independent women have been told that any man that tells you that, or they're trying to suppress you, and your career and your money, the ability to make money is more important than raising children.
Mhm.
And I think that's a lie. I think the most important thing is our children, because that's the future generation, and that's going to be the legacy that we're going to leave behind. That's the most important thing. And there's a lot of women that are unwilling to do that. So, and also just because you have a business doesn't necessarily mean we can delay it. Maybe the first couple of years, look, I got it right now until our children becomes older and they can take care of themselves, and then you have more time to run your business. But a lot of women are so adamant that they're unwilling to compromise on that for the man, that the good masculine man, but they'll let that masculine walk away when you realize, we'll all agree, that man is rare. There's not a lot of good masculine men out there that want to provide or protect you. And if you meet that man, isn't it, and going to give you that lifestyle and that dynamic, doesn't it make sense? Just, all right, my business is something I can put it on the side right now, because what's more important for me is I found a good man that wants to take care of me, and he wants us to raise children. Let me just go with that. But why fight so hard to keep something that doesn't benefit you, the kids, and also attracting the man that you want? That's just my pushback.
Yeah. So what's your opinion on, like, basically, so the man is the provider, no problem. Everybody wants that.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's going to be a very, very, very busy man.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm asking here is, like, what's your opinion on a father who is gone so much that you are kind of lacking in your child's life? And yeah, you're financially providing and you're there when you can, but really it's just mom that's around for the majority of it, because you're so busy all the time and you're gone and you're doing this and that, especially even for like a little girl. She's gonna need like a lot of time with her dad, or even for a little boy. So it's like, what's your opinion on that a dad that has to be gone all the time because he's providing for his family, but what about the emotional
that
for their
ruins-
child?
Actually, marriages too, because of the kids are feeling neglected, or that it's like, you're not even here for your kids. Like, I know you're providing, but we need family time too. We need to balance that.
No, I think when it comes to raising children, we provide to children different needs. I think the need of a mom is love, and it's love. Like, I think it's love for the kids. So the unconditional love, the nurture, the care, the compassion, kids need that. Our role in the relationship as a man is security, and to give them security and be the disciplinarian to make sure that there's boundaries in that relationship. And for the kids, it's to protect the kids. So I do agree. We still have to spend time with our children, from both the mother and the father. So when we do have that time when you come home, have that quality time with your daughter, have that quality time with your sons. But I think the most important thing is for the kids to live in a very stable environment, and to also to know that their father is present. I don't think as kids, like for me, I barely saw my dad. But I didn't know my dad loved me, because when he came home, like, we had some conversations. I didn't really need my dad's love, because I got that from my mom, and that's all I needed from my mom, because my mom, I saw like a great relationship. So for me, looking at it, I don't think you don't need the dad to be 24/7 at home telling their kids, I love you, I love you, I love you. What the kids, I think the role of a man does is just being present, and to let them know that everything is good, everything's stable, it's secure. Your dad is around, and also he's a disciplinarian to make sure, okay, if you behave this way, then I'm the one that's gonna enforce this and make sure that you're not stepping mistreating your mom, or you're not acting a certain way. I think sometimes when you have that conversation, you're expecting both men and women to be equal, to show the same type of love and care to the child. I think we play different roles. I think the woman, you need to share that the development with the child, especially at a young age. And I think there's a lot of data and research shows that the connection that you get, the hormones that you've released into your body when you have children, the kids kids also get that as well, and that's why you guys bond. The baby bonds closer to you than the father.
Automatically, the kid's gonna be naturally be around the mother more.
Yeah, they heard the mama's heartbeat from the inside.
Exactly.
I mean,
because
I feel like that carries out the love, yes, but at the same time, my son, for instance, he spent his whole first year just me by myself. You know what I mean? Like, his dad would come see him when he's not working and providing and all that stuff the way he could. At the same time, my son is now 3 and turns around and says, "Where's my dad? When's dad coming? I'm ready to hang out with my dad," because he's wanting to spend more time with dad. He's like, "I spent this time with you. We've been doing a good 3 years. but I need my dad time now. Like, he'll tell me that.
Yeah.
He'll straight up tell me that. He won't say like, oh, mommy, I don't love you or anything. He's still, I love you, mommy. I still need that affection. And I get where you're coming from. It's like we provide that affectionate love for the kid. And you guys provide that physical, like, I'm going to make sure you understand what discipline is. I'm going to make sure you understand what security is. And I'm going to make sure you understand that when you become a man, some of these things you will have to provide yourself.
Yeah.
So I get that.
I think the most important thing is just stability, like,
Yeah.
and also for men is we have to show our children like the character that we want to exemplify. It's like you said, loyalty, accountability, commitment, love, and taking care of our wives. Those are the things that men do. And of course, I think stability, especially financially, is really, really important, because if you try to raise kids in an environment where you're trying to figure out where to eat and where to sleep, that's gonna be a hard life for the child.
Yeah.
So I think our priority as men is we still have to show love and to our children when we do have the time, when you come home. I do know some friends that their dad, they just worked, and then when they came home, they didn't show no love to that can cause an effect. But my dad, he was very religious, so he showed love to me. He whooped my ass up a couple of times. All right. But he showed love. We had a conversation. But for me, it wasn't really the love part. It was just, I just saw my dad, like he got up every single day he went to work. I saw him love my mom.
Yeah.
Like, those very times that I did see him in action, I saw good qualities.
Loving.
It was qualities and things that I learned from it. Look, that's how a man should act. So I think when it comes to the emotional part, we still have to show emotion, but what's more important, I think, for the man's example, is just showing good character and example and stability in our children.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I wasn't born in a rich family, but I had food. I never had to worry about meals. I never had to worry about a roof over our head. My dad worked every single day. I never saw my dad miss a day of work. I never saw my dad complain about work or came home complaining about his issues. He always was able to have self-regulate himself and figure out a solution.
Yeah.
I never saw him raise his voice to my mom. If they did have disagreements, they would always do it privately. They would never do it in front of us. So those are things I was like, oh, as a son growing up, it's like I know he loved me because I saw him every single day. I think for us it's just present. That if your dad is present in your life, as a daughter, it's not necessarily that you need that same emotional bonding that you have with your mom. You just want your dad to know that he's there, and then whenever you need him, he's gonna be there, and that he offers you that security. Like, look, I gotta go to work right now, but I'm always here for you. I'm just a call away. But right now, I gotta go handle business because I gotta take care of you and your mom and your brothers and sisters. And then that's something my dad always told me. It's like, look, I know I don't have much time. I gotta go to work. Somebody has to pay the bills, but I gotta take care of our family. That's the role of a man. And I was like, oh, so my dad's not here and spending enough time with me because he's doing his role. I never understood as a kid, but now I got older. I was like, oh, that's why my dad missed. That's why I didn't see. That's why I didn't see my dad as often, because he was busy taking care of the bills and making sure we had a roof over our head. And now when I look back. Now I can look back as a kid, every single time I complained, I was like, oh, I was being a little shit. Because now I look back, I was like, no, my dad, even though I didn't see him a lot, but he was handling his business. He took care of responsibility, took care of his duty. That's why I didn't see him a lot. Oh, but now we have guys that just want to spend all the time with their kids, but then they can't pay their bills.
Yeah.
I mean, they're showing enough love to their kids, but but there's no stability. So I think when it comes to that dynamic, we still need to show love, but I think it's not the same love the way you guys show it. I think it's more impactful for the mom to constantly show that, because it's especially when it's infancy. But I think for me, it's not really about love. It's just, we do need to show love, but it's about present. Just be present in your children's life. And as a daughter, as a son, as long as you know your dad's there, he's always gonna be there. And then when you need to call him, when you need to talk to him, he's gonna be there. But you just understand he's a little bit busy because he's got bills. We got shit to pay. And your gifts. You like your birthday gifts. Yeah, that's why I'm working right now, because I got to pay for Christmas and pay for your birthdays.
I
Yeah.
feel like I would always rather choose the love over what you can give me,
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, especially childhood, like that literally shapes who you're going to be for the rest of your life, basically. It really shapes even the way you see relationships and love and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, I guess I kind of look at it in the sense that Even what's that one movie with Will Smith and his child?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Happiness.
Yes, he didn't have that stability, but he gave so much love to his kid, and he did what he could. And I feel like at the end of the day, that kid would probably choose that over, living in a 3-story house with a dad who's gone all the time. You get what I'm saying here? That's just kind of.
I don't know what happened after
That's
that.
just kind of the way I
Like,
see
he
it.
became successful after, so he had to leave his kid.
Look,
I was
Yeah.
raised by a single father.
Yeah.
So he took care of me. And when I got older, I understood he's not here because he's paying the bills and he come home and bring me gifts. But
But I kind of did the same thing for my mom as a single mother too. She can't be my father, but she's also providing. She's also caring for me. She's not able to show up emotionally all the time there because she's doing all these other things as a building block for me to show up and be who I'm supposed to be. So where she can show up and do what she can do, it was okay. But also the other part of me in my childhood and my younger self and that inner challenge that I face is you're never going to be there. You can't show up the way I need you to show up because you don't really know me.
your mom,
You know
emotional because she has to be
Yes.
the man
Yeah.
of the relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
and so it's harder. But also my father wasn't there. He chose not to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you make that conscious decision to show up the way that works best for you and your family unit, whether
So
that
what's
be
better, being raised by a single father, being raised by a single mother?
I don't think anything is better, to be honest. I think
My parents
honestly,
never been together, but I both see my parents equally.
Well-
They both my dad was there still in my life, even though they weren't together. But that's because they was teenagers.
But honestly, I don't
So-
think you were raised
By
by
your dad.
Yeah, I could say I was raised my mom. I was raised mostly by her, and then she had my little brother. She was married, then they got divorced. So then she ended up being mostly just take care of us. Then I had to step in the role of being like a second mother in the home because she had to go work all the time, and I had to watch my little brother.
But that's why I don't think
That's a
either
lot
one
of
is
pressure.
better.
And it's a lot of pressure. That's what
Because
pushed me to grow up
yeah.
more faster too. I'm the oldest. I have 7 siblings, the oldest grandchild. So I have a lot of elders, everything on me. So it's like I had to grow up
And figure it out yourself.
and figure out myself because there wasn't the man present there too. I could say that too. Like if they were together, it would have been different. Like I wouldn't have to. I could have just spent more as a kid instead of making baby bottles
Yeah.
before I go outside and play with my friends.
And I think people don't realize that, like even though it's different in sex, it doesn't mean it's different in the role that they have to play. Because the only difference is that this is a man and this is a woman, right? But at the end of the day, if you're a single parent raising kids, that oldest kid is always going to have to step up 10 times more to provide that role of either being the motherly role, the financial support, or whatever that is needed for the child at the end of the day. And it kind of sucks because I know, like I said, my mom didn't want to be single. She didn't want to have a family where it was like just her paying all the bills all the time. She was like, I want to work, but I want to do half of that, half of this work so I can be home with you guys so I can support you.
Right.
And then also too, experiencing friends who had their dad raise them. And he's like, well, I just have to go to work. But then my friends feeling secluded, left out, sad because they don't have that balance of anything. You know what I mean? And so I guess it's just like both roles are so importantly needed in the child. It takes both of you guys spending that time together and apart with the child to build that relationship of who is your kid. Because if we're just working, or I'm just cleaning, and I'm handling all the other stuff, then I'm still not really focused on you the way I want to be. And that's why you need the community where it comes in nannies. It comes in, to have your relief time. And then it comes in cleaning help. You don't have to do it all the time, but having those increments is what really helps.
I'm not
gonna-
family unit where you have cousins, uncles, sisters, brothers.
They'll come in
Show
to
up.
play.
Come in, but
to
that
show
comes
up.
from having that solid foundation of a mother and a father too.
Mhm.
Like
It
a
starts
lot of people
there.
don't have that,
Starts there,
unfortunately.
And that's how relationships are now
Yeah.
dictate because
Yeah.
of
Because we're
where you grow up in your
fast
household.
forward of when fathers felt like they had to leave the family, and then they just left. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or they left and started families, and then it's
What's
just
that?
kind of like, oh, I got a sibling all in Albuquerque, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know them.
I there was I had a friend that had a funeral. Dad passed away. And then when everybody came to the funeral, they met siblings they didn't know they had.
Like didn't know whatsoever, or they just never met them.
They didn't know they existed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been.
But I was
That
like,
would
oh.
have had me like, so you going?
My mom used to try to mess
You're in
with me like that when I was like, she'd be like, your dad has a whole different family in Mexico. I'd be like, what?
No,
But it was all a lie. It was all a lie.
Yeah, so I mean, just to finish before we conclude, yeah, like because what CC what CC was saying, that's the man being around all the time. I just think that biologically we have
Yeah.
different roles.
Not all
Yeah.
the time. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
not.
And also, you wouldn't want that in your man either. You wouldn't want your man to spend all his time.
Yeah, no.
With you. Would you prefer a man to spend all his time with you, or would you? And he's lacking his ambition.
Yeah.
I miss you. Give me a chance to miss you.
Like-
If you can talk to me all day, you're not doing enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because deep down in your feminine instinct, that you know that the role of a man is to provide and protect for me. So that's the priority of a man, is just to provide and protect. And one of the things about providing and protecting, you're not going to have a lot of time, not only for your woman, also your children. But that's my role to play in this relationship. But when I do have the time, it's going to be quality time.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be quality time for my wife. It's going to be quality time for our children. But that's going to go to work so that we can take care of our security. That's the priority.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes modern society is convinced women that's not the priority of a man. What's more important is our relationship, him being with you all the time. And you find yourselves with weak men who just spend all this time with you and going on dates and having fun, but he has no ambition and goals and things that's going to provide you guys a better future.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense as when you have a man that is especially like really financially providing, like you don't even really have to worry if your house is messy because he can hire a nanny. Not a nanny, but a maid, a cleaner.
I say
Why
I
are we-
see you too sometimes over the kids.
Why are we going to hire a nanny?
No, not a nanny. I meant a cleaner. Yeah.
Hiring a nanny is really just like it's kind of like having a doula for when you need to shower, or when you're like I really want, let's say you smoke, I want to go smoke without the kids watching me. I want somebody to be watching over the house. That's a realistic thing because you have your things you want to do for yourself. And to realistically view it as, oh, I have to take the kids everywhere I go, that's gonna feel like, oh, this is a burden. Oh, I'm feeling resentful a little bit because I need my time.
But
You know
why
what I
don't
mean?
people have that support system anymore?
Because they want to pay. They want to be paid
Because
for
there's
it.
a lot of
Yeah.
I feel like there's a
Money.
lot of broken families.
But
Yeah, people don't
the
always
question
have
is,
that.
what's the root of families breaking down? I know the answer, but I want to ask you guys that.
I don't know.
What
Maybe
is the root
Of
of
fa-
families breaking down?
The
Right.
breaking down of the nuclear family, of men and women staying together in a unit as a two-parent household.
Probably not the two parents having that serious commitment, like you were saying. Like when you get married, you really are like making vows to each other and making this commitment that things are going to get terrible at one point, but you're going to persevere and fight through that. And a lot of people, they probably tend to
I know
give up.
I have a strong opinion of what the root cause is, but I just wanted to ask
I
you.
mean, I think personally, it just comes down to
I
like
come from a single
Gen-
parent house, so I don't know.
I know. I think it depends on. It comes down to generational like curse, or not curse, a generational like
Trauma.
trauma. Like it's just being
Mhm.
passed down.
It's just
Like
a
because my
cycle.
mom, her parents were in a stay together forever, but it was not good. Like
Yeah.
they should have not been together.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
okay, I get it.
my father, his dad was a hoe. Like
Yeah.
he had plenty, so
You mean a player? I was just joking.
he was a player. Yes, he was a player. So and
I
then
was
when
playing.
my parents
He was
got
a hoochie
together,
daddy.
right? He was a
Daddy.
when my parents got together, my father was not the best person in the world. He was abusive, alcoholic. My mom left, and I feel like and I'm an only child.
Yeah.
So growing up with my mom, there was a lot of pressure on me because I was her whole life and she lived for me,
Oh,
for
wow.
me.
That was
And
he's the
now that I'm
Mhm.
older, I have a lot of resentment towards my mom because I feel like she still lives for me,
Yeah.
And even though maybe that's what mothers are supposed to do, it's a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
a very lot of pressure.
Well, in my opinion, the reason why we have got to this point where families are breaking down, I think there's two things that comes to mind. I think it's the modern day feminism, convincing women that you don't need a man anymore, and also the sexual revolution, convincing women that being committed in a monogamous sexual relationship to a man it's enslavement. That's true liberation. Freedom is going out there and sleeping with as many men as you want.
I feel like I gotta ask my mom this. Mom, why did you choose to be single for so long?
Yeah.
She's been single forever.
Honestly,
You know,
honestly,
Some people really just like, stay single
Yeah,
forever.
what if it's traditional or what if it's just biology? We're more optimal to be suited to be with together, right? So the thing is, throughout history, the man was the provider protector, the woman was the nurturing carer. That's how relationships have been since the beginning of time. But it's only since like the last 40, 50 years with this movement that they're convincing men and women, but specifically the women, that you don't need a man to take care of you. You don't need a man. You can do it on your own. You can get your own bed. You can provide yourself. You can live by yourself. And then women are believing that ideology and they're acting that way. And they're also having sex with they're having unprotected sex with multiple men because in their mind that's liberation. But that type of behavior has a lot of consequences.
I'm like, who taught you that?
It has a lot of consequences.
I'm like,
I mean,
girl.
it's I don't know if you guys see it online, but I see content online where women will devalue a woman that wants to be a mother more than a woman that wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And for me, it's so sad today that we devalue womanhood, being a great mother and raising children, because that woman, that's what she wanted, and not go out there pursue an education career. I have nothing against pursuing a career in education, but I think the most important thing has always been since the beginning of time is family, and to make sure that we've raised a great generation. What's the point of having a career, and what's the point of having all that money and success if your kids are broken and your relationship is broken?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You can have both. You can have a great
Because money
relationship.
can't fix everything.
Yeah.
No, it can't.
So, and I think a lot of women are believing that ideology or acting that way, and they're repelling the very men that they could give them good lives because they think they've been convinced by society that they don't need a man to take care of them. They can do it on their own,
Right.
and they can raise their kids by their own because we don't need men in their house no more.
And then
Yeah.
they like
It's
ask
like
your
I have
girlfriend, like,
to.
girl, can you please come and help me watch it? Girl, where's the daddy? It's like, then you be so mad, and I'd be like, you know what? I used to say like, yeah, you don't need him, but then I realized I start telling my friends that do have kids, like, girl,
You need that man.
you need that.
We need
man.
each other.
Like,
We need each other.
We need
Yeah.
each other.
We
Like,
both
I'm
need each
here
other.
for you, but I noticed that some
Yeah.
may go in a road where they feel like, oh, I don't need a man. Then they lean on to being gay.
See, I think
And then think they need it from a
Yeah.
woman. And,
And
I'll be
also-
like, I can't be a man
And also,
for you.
and also to be
because
fair,
they're so getting hurt
Yeah.
and mistreated by men that they feel like it's tended to like, okay, I could go with a woman, they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And actually, most abusive
Same.
relationships is with a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like,
They're trying to
you're not wrong,
represent the
it's not
masculinity.
wrong.
they be mostly beating on each other than anything, you know.
Yeah.
Lesbians, that's how it's really, you know,
Something
yeah.
my grandmother told me though, growing up, was that because she had kids young. She was 18 when she had her first kid right out of high school. So for her, she was like, I had to make sure I had my train fare if I wanted to go back home.
Yeah.
If I had to go home, I had to make sure I had some money, and I couldn't rely on your grandfather to have the money for me. You know what I mean? Because if something happened between me and him, how am I going to get me and my kids home? So that was kind of her mindset. It wasn't that she was against her husband and she never wanted to see him again. It was just, I have to make sure I can get to point A to point B, safely, and make sure that I have what my kids need. Because like you said, at the end of the day, it's about the future generations. And so sometimes, like you said, the future generations really just need their parents to sanely be there for themselves and for the child.
Yeah.
Because if you're showing up and you're in an abusive relationship and it's constant, all the kids are remembering is, ooh, this is what that relationship looks like.
Right.
And then that ties until how they become an adult.
Yeah.
And then they pick that same relationship not knowing that, ooh, I'm going through trauma right now. I'm trauma bonding with this person who's
Right.
doing what they did to my parent.
Yeah.
and also to be fair, there's a lot of men out there. I'm really concerned about the future because women are also believing they don't need a man, but there's a lot of men online. They're starting to say they don't need women.
That's what I was about to say. I really
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
to
that's
highlight
fine.
when you said that we need each other, because I feel like too a lot of women tend to push back because men tend to act like women are nothing without them.
Yeah.
And so that makes a lot of women feel like, what the hell I can do everything myself, and I don't need you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They be
Da-da-da.
pushing us away. They be pushing us like,
Well,
I don't really need
to be
you.
fair, because I understand both sides. The feminist women movement and women saying that they don't need a man. Society, I mean, that's been the primary ideology that's been pushed out through society right now. So in the last 30, 40 years, all men have heard was, we don't need a man, we don't need a man. So there's a lot of men that we feel like we're devalued in this society. Like we don't feel like we have any worth. So that's why a lot of guys now are coming out. I'm tired of these women saying that we don't need you. F you. I don't need you guys. And I think that lacks accountability. I think it's
We
that's
need
why
each other.
that's why I don't
Yeah.
like the blaming and whining as content I see online. And I do see a lot of podcasts that will bring women and they're just waiting
To set them up.
to set them up or to criticize them. See, that's why you're single, and that's why. And nobody's having a conversation like we're having tonight, like to figure out the root issues and the causes.
Right.
So there's a lot of men out there, but I would agree that for a long, like the last 30, 40 years, men have been told like we don't need you anymore by society, by women. So and now they're responding.
I want to say that, you know, there was a part of time that I actually agree with, like, I really don't need you, you know, because I have provided for myself.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like it's also was kind of forced on me too, because as a single mom, like I did go to school, I paid for my own school, you know, and I had to work, you know, so there was a point in time where I couldn't be around my son because I was trying to do all these things so
Yeah.
I could provide for myself
Yeah.
and provide for him. So
Yeah.
there was a point in time that I did miss, you know, a very crucial time in my son's life.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did make me feel like, you know what, I don't need a guy to live comfortably, and I don't need a guy to provide for my son when I was able to do it.
Yeah.
It was a little harder. I wanted to cry,
Yeah.
you know, but the fact that I was able to do it, you know, it made me feel like, fuck yeah, I
I'm
really
powerful.
don't need you, motherfucker.
Right.
You know,
Mm.
so
That's what I'm saying. I
But
feel like
like-
it's a low-key like a trauma thing, huh? Because like when you're kind of left to, I guess, defend for yourself, then that's
become
what makes
numb.
you. That's what makes you push
Mhm.
back and be like, okay, well, I just had to do all this for myself and provide. So
And
it's
I
like,
did it.
Yeah,
But
you're so
yeah,
used
no,
to it,
but
so
thing
now
is-
it comes to like.
but thing is,
feeling
but
guilty.
the hard
Mhm.
work also raised my standards
Yeah.
as like what
Yeah.
I expect from my partner now.
even
Mhm.
more than I can give
Exactly.
myself.
So
Yes.
you should be able to do more for me than I can do for me.
Yes.
Then-
If that's what you're
right.
gonna, if that's what you really want to be, the provider and the protector. Okay, look, I provided for myself really good. You know, like so
Like if I'm
whatever
down
I
bad,
got.
are you gonna be able to pick me up all the way?
Yeah, you know. So
be-
I just feel like my standards are just went up an ante
Yes.
as far as like what does a good masculine man look like. You know,
Yeah.
it might be different for all of us, but
Right.
there's a part of me that's just like, okay, look, I want the
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I
I
need the
agree
1% up here because
Yeah.
you know, just because it's you know, I was able to do it for myself, and yes, I
No,
do.
no, respect to you too. I know it's a very hard thing to do to as a woman to raise your children on your own without the assistance of a man. But I guess my only thing I would appreciate to hear from women who raise their kids alone. A lot of times when you go through that experience, I know it's hard, but what I don't hear from a lot of women saying is, "Hey, look, I did this because I had to, not because I wanted to, and I had to take care of my son." But ladies, do not. If I had to encourage you to go down this path, do not go down this path. I would prefer to you to go find a
yeah.
good man,
Oh yeah,
take care of him. But
Sure.
but the thing is,
Yeah.
I don't hear that from a lot of single moms because I guess because you've overcome it, you feel like, see, I'm empowered, I can do it by myself. But I think sometimes when young women listen to it, they think, oh, if she can be a single mom and still be empowered, they think that they can have unprotected sex because even if they become a single mom,
Lord,
she
no.
lived a
But
great
those
life.
No, but
women
some people
are
are
in
trying
a
to do it
survival
on-
mindset.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, and I guess this is the pushback I have to give you and for all the single moms out there. That's why a lot of guys will say single moms don't have accountability because the guy that didn't stay, he didn't stay for whatever reason, right? So I think what a lot of guys are saying is if you want to influence the next generation, I get it. Nothing to take away from single moms doing what they have to do to raise their children. But I think it would be more impactful for them to look, this is what happened in my past relationship. This is what I messed up. All the ladies out there, you do not want to be in my situation. If you met this type of man that I had in my past, I have to take accountability on that because I chose that man and he ended up leaving. That's why I'm in the situation. So look, even though I'm strong right now, but it's not easy. So if you have a good man right now, or you can attract a good man, start living that way, so you don't have to go through my footsteps. We don't hear that from a lot of women. We just hear that you overcame it.
Yeah.
And for a lot of guys, what we hear, in our mind, the way we interpret that is you're kind of like telling the other girls it's okay to go down the path of being a single mom, when we know
Not
it's
to be that.
yeah.
Although I say overcame it, and I did.
Mhm.
But I do have friends. I'm obviously in my 40s, and I've
Yeah.
had women friends who are still childless and they want to have kids,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they can't find that good man. And they
Yeah.
talk to me about like, ooh, I want to go get like, artificial
Or
insemination.
get an embryo.
And I've told
Yes,
them,
really.
hey, girl, I've been that single mom. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Because you know it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're so I did it because I had to, but now you're trying to tell me you're doing it because
Want
you
to.
want to.
Yes,
What?
different.
Yeah, I don't
girl.
think nobody should be encouraging that
Because you
whatsoever.
see so many women.
I want to get an embryo, but like definitely what you said, like trying to find someone like another a man that you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, I can definitely have a family with them, because that person is a family man and he actually wants to provide and all that. But it is hard. Like I would get scared too, like that I'll end up being like in my mid 40s, 50s without no kids or nothing, because I'm too scared to see who could I can
Yeah.
have that foundation. I want to marry someone first, then have that relationship.
Yeah, like
then
respect to
start
you,
that.
respect to all the single moms out there. But I think if the solution is to bring men and women together, I think for both men and
Yeah.
women, from the single fathers and the single moms, we have to be accountable of why it didn't work out from our past relationship.
Yeah.
And tell people, look, even though I'm a single mom, even though I'm a single dad, it's hard to do. I would prefer to you guys to find somebody that you guys can do it together.
Mhm.
But I think I don't see that content online, and usually a lot of the single
Mhm.
moms, they hate their baby daddy.
Yeah, they.
I mean,
Right,
and
so-
honestly,
Hate 'em.
it's that vetting process we go back to.
Yeah,
You know what I
the
mean?
vetting process.
It's like, if you weren't taught how to vet somebody and you weren't, you didn't take the time to learn that, then that's just gonna be something you don't
Yeah.
know. And like,
Yeah.
sadly enough, like a lot, like I hear my mom say all the time, like, oh, I wish I knew this when I was your age. I wish I did this different.
Yeah.
And when it came to finding a man, oh, I love you guys, but I wish I chose a different partner for your father
Mhm.
because I didn't vet them.
I've literally heard from young women on this podcast and previous podcasts, where they say, and they go through the whole phase, right? And they're like, "Aren't you afraid of the consequence of being a single mom?" It's like, "Oh, no, why?"
Oh.
Because I saw a lot of single moms did it. If they can do it, I can do it. So it's
I
crazy
think
that they
you
don't
guys-
really we've got to a point where a lot of young women have convinced that being a single mom is something that's not a big deal, and a lot of girls think that way. too.
Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that people have made it seem like it's like not a big deal, or that like, yeah, go do it. Like you can be a single mom. Da-da. But what I do like in the sense of support within like single moms and just single parents in general is a lot of the time I feel like even with this is a touchy topic, but the topic of abortion, I feel like society has also made women feel a lot that if you are left to be a single parent, you can't be successful in life, or you can't go to school, you can't do this and you can't do that. And that, pushes people into
Yes, I can.
the other road, and so I feel like it is really good to uplift those people and give them their flowers that they really did step up, and it was very hard, but they did what they had to do. And I feel like those people really do like deserve a million flowers. And
I want to
Good.
get that props because my mom is that person.
Yeah.
Like my mom like raised two of us, and she ended up getting her master's, her A, her everything,
That's what I'm
like,
saying,
and still
yeah.
managed to do that. And I helped too, because like you said, like the oldest child's gonna see everything
Yeah.
what the mother's going through. So it's just like to see her that she could pick herself up and still do and continue doing what she needed to do. And I actually kind of helped doing that too, like like giving her some time, her space, like, okay, this is her time, let her do her thing. She needs to do her work because
It's your degree too.
it's my degree
Yeah.
too. So I feel and
Yeah.
I be feeling good about it because like she accomplished something, and it's like it's getting her mental stable, because you don't. And no child would want to see their parent all like broken
Suffer.
down and just
Yeah.
Yeah,
like lifeless. So I give props to my mom and then all the other mothers
Yeah,
that
shout
sit
out
in
to
there
them.
continue to get their
Yeah.
degree.
But it's definitely not something that should ever be encouraged.
Yeah.
Definitely
Like-
not. No.
No, I do agree. I do agree with you, CC. Like, we should be able to let people know, hey, even if you find yourself in that situation, there are ways to overcome it.
Yeah, no.
But I think also at the same, as much the same point, we need to also address in the same stance. Like, look, there's a better way to do this. You know?
Yeah, let's not even get
Yeah,
ourselves
yeah.
in those
In that
shoes, or even with the
situation.
like being sexually irresponsible as hell. It's like you why even like put yourself in that position? That's what people
Yeah.
don't realize, because nowadays it's just like sex is a whatever thing, and it makes me feel good in the moment, and it's like, okay, well, if you're lucky, 20 minutes of a great time, led to this whole thing that now you may be, a single mom or whatever the case may be. So really, I think just a huge foundation there is like sexual responsibility.
Yes.
That's really
Yeah.
just
Everybody needs to be
Like I said,
accountability.
accountability, discipline, all the qualities you guys
If
mentioned.
you had raw sex 300 times,
Oh
don't come
no.
here.
Oh. See, and then that's where the question comes in. Do you care about
Do you care about
sexual
yourself?
health?
Exactly.
Do you care about yourself?
I feel
'Cause
like
if
people
I
take
see you
the
moving like that,
child
then
as,
you don't
like,
care about yourself.
I can fix my situation with having a child. I can either find another mate or do it on my own. But then, like, you think about like STDs, HIV, and stuff like that.
It's
Those
really a
common
high
things that
rise
can
right
really
now.
stick to
That's because
you
of all this like
affect your
singleness
offspring.
going on
Okay.
right now. That's
Like,
crazy.
I think those are questions you should probably ask. They
Oh.
can change.
But ladies, we have come to the end.
Oh.
I would buy that.
All right, so shout out to everybody that's been watching the entire stream. See, Lisa. Hey, good to see you, Lisi, Paulo, M510. I haven't seen you here before, so thank you so much for tuning in. Desmond Scott, Tim M, Gas Mask, all you guys. I do appreciate you guys. I know a lot of you guys are watching from IG as well. Appreciate that. We had a great conversation,
Yeah.
and so I was looking forward to disagreeing with a lot of the things you guys said, but you guys were actually.
Yeah, you great ladies. I love this conversation.
Right.
It's nice when you can actually have a conversation though with people who are like actually willing to listen and kind of come to an agreement rather than just being super combative, like you said.
Right.
Like you said.
Yeah.
That open-mindedness.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we had a great conversation. Thank you for all your input, and definitely shout out to everybody on the live chat. But ladies, what's your final thoughts from tonight's discussion, and how can people find you guys if you if
I want
you're
to find these masculine men.
Yeah.
I need
Where
to
they
talk
hiding
to
at?
talk
Tell
about
me
me.
right
Where they at?
No.
Well, if you want to meet these masculine men, well, ladies watching this, join my Thursday panels. Join my Thursday pods where we talk about the masculine mind. But ladies, thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you for having
Great
us.
conversation tonight. I love when we disagree on some things, but we could overcome it, still figure out a solution, which is the ultimate goal. What I'm trying to do for the pod.
Yeah.
But I'll start with you, Tiara. Final thoughts, and how can people find you?
I think, there are a lot of moments where I was like, ooh, but then I was like, let me sit down and listen. And so it did, like, I guess it re-humbled me back into being more open and available to hearing other perspectives and then also providing my own. You guys can find me at TK with Love. That's exactly how it's spelled, TKWITH, and then love all together. On Instagram, doula services. I nanny and I teach mommy and me classes. So
Aww.
come check me out.
Boy, I need my doula when I get.
Yeah, right?
We here, we're listening.
I'm trying to do a homework.
Yeah.
And last question: you still going to that lingerie party?
I have a lingerie party to go to first off. My man would be going too. So it wouldn't even matter. Those are not a thing.
Okay. Well, I'll take that win. I'll take that. Fair enough. But thank you so much. I'll pass it to you, Anissa. Thank you for making the time. And final thoughts and how can people find you, Anissa?
I learned so much from all of you guys here. I had a great time, and it makes me want to reevaluate my relationship. And
Put that at the end.
yeah, you can find me on Instagram, ADYNSSTY. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming all the way down here. Thank you so much. We'll keep it moving. Carmen, thank you so much for making the time. Final thoughts, and how can people find you, Carmen?
Gotcha. Final thoughts. I actually would just want to thank you guys. You know, it was great to like meet you and, you know, get that random message from Will. I was like, yeah, I'm down. Why not? So no, this was actually a really good experience. Thank you guys. And you can find me on Instagram at Samba Passion, SAMBAPASSION. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time, and you guys are great ladies, great people to have open conversations with. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time here. I feel like it definitely did, like you guys heard me, I was a little like on a lot of things.
I know I saw it on your face.
Yeah, but seriously, just like, yeah, even listening to you from a man's perspective, which isn't often that we get to hear from actually like a good man's perspective. We hear a lot of bullshit nowadays.
Right.
It was great, and it really actually did open my mind a lot more, gave me a different perspective, and it's definitely things that I will take even to my friends and my whole friends. Give them some insight of what I learned
You
tonight.
gotta bring your whole friends to the podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys. Honestly, this really did broaden my horizon, I guess. But oh yeah, and then like I said, I'm a licensed esthetician, so you can find me at Ested by Cece, so ESTHIED BYCECE. I do facials. I specialize in lash extensions, brows, facial waxing, etc. So yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, CC.
I just want to say thank you. I truly enjoyed the conversation as well. You guys definitely put new ideas and perspectives in my mind, so I definitely appreciate that. It also did make me feel really exhausted, just to like take in all the information and also like look at my life, and I'm just like, oh, reevaluate. I'm like, I don't know if I want certain things now, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. Yeah, overall, super thankful. And then you guys can find me at Casey the Creator. Again, I am a photographer and videographer. And it's KASIE the Creator.
And she's great. So especially if you have a business, she's great at those videos.
All right, thank you so much. And last but not least, Shay.
Okay, well, I want to say thank you for having me again, and everybody here. I love everybody's energy, personalities. Everybody just is wonderful. I actually did learn a lot too, and I'm actually glad I came here. So it definitely gave me a different perspective of my dating life, and on top of that, made me more confident into like going forth and like just dating in general. So thank you for that, Will, for coming in and actually giving me that message too, because I'm like, I get to meet all you guys, and that was actually really great. So yeah, I would just say I would recommend a lot of people do this. It was felt like a little therapy session for me too. Like,
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
It's the Kava.
It is.
I was chilling
It brings
hard.
people together.
yes. And what I do a lot. I'm like I said, I'm an artist. I model. I do this. I poetry. I do poetry. I'm expressive. I'm currently working on a poetry book right now.
You're Jade of all trades.
So yes, I like to write and everything. So like I said, I'm a lover girl, and I like to express in different ways, and like family and love and all that. So this is just great. So I'm glad. But you can find me at that's_so Shay, and it's that's THATS and then _ so Shay. SOSHAY. On Instagram. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Shout out to ladies one more time.
Shout out to yourself. Thank you.
And last question, ladies. If tomorrow you met you're a good masculine man, are you pushing back or you're just accepting all his standards?
As long as he's not lying, I'm accepting.
But you gotta show that action. I mean,
Right.
You gotta show the action.
You're not doing
whatever. Anybody.
Like, take me. Just take me.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, all right. Nevertheless, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everybody on the panel. And shout out to you guys on the live chat. A lot of you guys watched the entire stream on IG and also on YouTube. You guys always support me. Thank you so much. And shout out to the two people that supported me. And I saw a lot of new names here tonight. M510, I definitely know you're from the Bay. The 510.
That is from the town.
Yeah, it's definitely from the town. So I do know a lot of you guys watching the entire stream. I appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in and watching the entire show. You guys already know the best way to support me is to smash that like and subscribe button. When we do go live next time, we have a new panel and a new topic. And don't forget, I'm live from San Francisco. So if you're watching this right now, you're from the Bay, or you're in California, you want to come down and be part of the studio and be part of the conversation that we have, definitely reach out to me on my social media platforms, and I'll be able to respond to you. But thank you so much. But that's it. Appreciate you guys. See you guys next time. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.
And
Bye. Have a good one.
peace. Peace, y'all.
Thanks.